ask Karl, if he woke up with ladies' boobs, would he just put a dress on and live as a lady? Or would he just be a man but with these boobs?
Karl, it's a good question. I know that happened to Ross, so he's throwing that one out at you.
It did in a way, because he ate pizzas for a year, didn't he?
Yes, he did, yeah.
And he got a lovely pair of breasts.
Yeah.
Go on.
Probably just find a loose-fitting jumper, go to the doctor's.
What would you say to the doctor? How would you explain this phenomenon to the doctor? So you'd be happy with this, because you believe in, shite, like,
No,
happening. Go on.
But it can happen, because I told you a couple of weeks ago how it can happen.
What?
How you can wake up with breasts if you're a fella. I told you.
Go on.
Haven't you remembered?
No, funny that, innit? Go on.
Have you, Steve?
No, I don't remember this. Did you tell us on air?
Yeah. It can happen if you go to Argentina and have a steak. You can wake up with breasts. Because
I'm sure I'd have remembered that.
Pull the other one. Look, he likes that.
Is that what you've come up with this week? That joke?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Play a record. It's going to be a dynamite show.
Listen, look, I'm going to play some classic tunes today. I'm going to educate the youngsters, Steve. Right, now, you've all heard of Lou Reed, you've all heard of Velvet Underground, but, have you heard of Venus in Furs, Karl?
Shiny, shiny, shiny boots of leather.
Venus in Furs. Velvet Underground. What a great start. What a classic song.
They continue to sound fresh and contemporary.
Yeah. Do you know what that song's about, Karl?
No.
M&S. M&S.
It's about M&S.
You know that?
Yeah.
You know the shop?
Yeah.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
Whiplash, Smile and all that, all the things you can get at Marks and Spencer's.
Shiny boots of leather.
Yeah. Being whipped.
Yeah. I think that's a new division they've opened.
Yeah, but we have got a great show lined up, haven't we?
No, go on.
No, we have. No, because we've got, Rockbusters coming up, the great new
looking
quiz.
forward to that.
That's made the press.
Has it?
Yeah. Frimley Tea Room's newsletter mentioned it. We've also got,
that's Karl's local, isn't it?
Yeah. We've also got, Educating Ricky, where Karl educates me. The one last week, a girl, right? She was deaf, and she was had an argument with her mum, and she pushed her and she hit her head, and then she can hear again.
Yeah.
Don't know what I learnt from that.
No.
It might be subliminal, something might be going, it might be a metaphor that I will learn from.
Yeah, it's like a parable.
Yeah. So, look at his face. We might as well be talking Dutch, mightn't we, Karl? Say something quick, it's radio.
I don't understand what you want from me.
Oh, we're only joking.
Right, so, Educating Ricky, I've worked a bit harder this week, we've got some good stuff.
Okay.
I'll give you the
teaser headlines later.
Headlines in a bit.
Yeah.
So you've got Rockbusters as well.
Karl's having a bit of a stressful week, because he thinks he's not appreciated, because he gets in at, what time do you get in? About 8 or 9, don't you?
I've been busy this week, I've been in at about 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and you've been leaving when?
About 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you're in Saturday.
Yeah, I'm in now.
You get paid, don't you?
I'm busy at home at the moment.
A lot of people work late, Karl. A lot of people work 12-hour days.
Why are you busy at home, Karl? What are you up to?
Because we're trying to sort out a move. I've been trying to call round this morning to get someone to buy a futon on a table from me.
Yes. Well, we could put that appeal out now, couldn't we? If anyone wants to buy a futon or a table.
Just think, a futon that Karl Pilkington slept on.
How much you asking?
Whatever.
Well, you need
for the two. You've got to take the two. I don't want, like, different people coming round and that.
Sure, wasting your time.
You've got to buy a futon on a table.
It's quite specific, isn't it? Someone has to want a futon. Yeah. The specific futon you're selling and the table.
It's like a teas made, isn't it? Alarm clock and tea maker. This is futon and table.
Looking for about 100 quid.
And it's good condition, the futon.
Yeah.
Right, no
not
stains on it. You haven't pissed yourself in the, no.
No, nothing? And what kind of table, what sort of table are we talking? Are we talking like a table for a lounge, a dining table?
No, for like a computer, and, just, something...
Has it got any drawers? Are there any drawers? There's no drawers?
No, it's just a nice wooden table.
Right, is it kind of oak, or is it sort of an IKEA sort of thing?
No, it's like oakish.
It's oakish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 100 quid.
The futon is just a mattress and the pallets. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. You see, you get cheap futons, don't you? But this is a good one. It's
how much would that have retailed for when you purchased it?
I think I paid about $2.50 for it.
Right, so it's a bargain.
Well,
for people.
If you look at it,
and how long have you had it? How old is it?
This is a whole new strand.
Well, I'm thinking.
I don't think it's legal. I don't think we should use.
I'll tell you what I'm interested in, Rick. Is just finding out a little bit about the sort of thing that Karl's got in his home. You know.
I'm interested in if people will phone up to spend £100 just to go round
Karl's house.
No, I won't be. No.
What?
No, they'll come here. I'll bring it to work, and they can pick it up here.
I'm going to bring a futon and a table to work. Don't you ride a bike?
So hold on, we need someone with a van now.
Yeah.
So we need, is anyone who wants to, but they're not allowed around your house. Can they meet you next door? Someone with a van who,
Could they meet you in your street somewhere?
Hold on, could they meet you with hold on, what about the little Chinese fella that lives across the road, on the two bouncers and the old woman who's dead reading a book? Could you meet him somewhere?
I've got an idea. What about if you meet at the end of your street, you blindfold them, like they do when terrorists take the negotiator to the hideout.
The big cheese.
And so you could do that, and so, you know, they could piece together maybe where you live
With
from the sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
But, what about that, Karl? That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
And would you sign the futon for people, do you think? Would you give them a little signature? Or maybe at least a bill of purchase?
You could sign the pallet.
Yeah. Or, I could try and get work to buy it off me, and then we give it away for Rockbusters.
Do you think they do that? Do you think they do that? I think they'd probably do it for Foxy with his big
Well, imagine
hog.
how big that would
Imagine
be.
if he wanted to sell his hog.
Yeah. That is a motorbike, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's been selling his hog for money for years, hasn't he? Oh dear.
So, well, we'll see about that. See if,
So,
we get any
if people are interested, maybe email, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you're interested in a futon.
Buy Karl's futon
and a
competition. £100 ONO.
Exactly.
Yeah? Yeah?
What gear have we got anyway?
I never knew what that meant. ONO. I thought it went sort of on the nose.
On the
nose.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Well, tell me what we got to give away, Steve.
So
quick.
actually, I have to say, you've excelled yourself
We've
this
got
week.
Richard Ashcroft's single coming up soon after this. Go on.
Since when have you taken to talking like that? It does amuse me.
Go on.
This is a nice little collection here. This is a 3 DVD set. David Attenborough's, The Life of Birds, Trials of Life, and Life in the Freezer.
That's a good one, isn't it?
That's a selection of, animal-based documentaries.
Yeah.
We've got, and this
What
is
is best at?
Well, absolutely.
I hate when he goes off the ball and does, like, fast cars.
This is, very, very good indeed. This is a best of David Bowie compilation.
It is a very good,
Just,
it's a
in
proper
time for
one,
Christmas.
not the rubbish ones that no one else wanted. This is a brilliant compilation.
Yeah, it's got
of
excellent selection on there. We've got this. Now, this looks like a madness. Oh, no. It's far worse than we could possibly have imagined. It seems to be some kind of tie-in with the Our House Madness musical.
And it's a cast of 20 people who wanted to be singers.
It's tricky to find out. I can't figure out if it's the originals or not, but needless to say, if you're a Madness fan, I'm sure that'd be an absolute treat.
You love that.
Now, I know that,
Steve, I wouldn't mind that DVD collection myself, but I can't. It's the giveaways that, no, we can't.
I'm talking of great compilations. What about this? It's Country Legends. I'm seeing on the front there Glenn Campbell, we've got Dolly Parton, we've got, whatchamacallit? On the front
Whatchamacallit?
He's a great performer.
Yeah.
Jake, whatchamacallit.
Oh, excellent.
Some great hits from him. So, that's there as well.
What a collection.
That's same XFM compilation, again, easy to get hold of. If
the big one, the film that Karl picks every week. The big
DVD movie this week.
Don't go out tonight if you've got a DVD player and a television set, because you'll be staying in and watching this fantastic film.
It will tear your soul apart. It's Hellraiser. The original Hellraiser. Bear in mind, it has been on Channel 4 and Channel 5 and on most cable channels since it came out. But if you haven't seen it, if you're one of the only people who has not seen it, and of course you have to be over 18 to play, then you can win Hellraiser.
That is fantastic. Well, play a song, Karl. We'll come back to that. More great stuff.
Indeed. The competition coming up later. Email only, isn't it, Karl?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Futon.
Futon's still available.
Richard Ashcroft. Check the meaning. Well, Karl, you're chuffed, aren't you? What's happened? What's just happened? Tell the listeners what's happened.
This has sparked you up a bit.
Steve's just called up. He's putting an offer for the futon and the table.
Yeah.
I think he definitely wanted it, but I said, look, think about it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Well,
you're not a hustler.
No, well, I'm not going to rush him into it, because once he's got it, he can't bring it back. I'm not messing about.
No.
So the bloke said, what sort of wood is it? Karl said, sort of like a light brown colour. He went, what, beach coloured? Karl went, depends what beach you're on. Which was nice.
You do understand there's a wood that's called beach.
Well, he's happy. He likes the sound of it. Nice plum cover. He's gonna be,
Yeah. Is Karl going, I'll go with Magnolia, you walls my, he's just going, I'll tell you what, looked nice in your spare bedroom. It was like an episode of Change Rooms. It was like listening to an episode of Karl.
He did the deal in under 3 minutes, wasn't it?
It was pretty good, didn't he?
He phoned it about halfway through in that song, so you worked pretty quick, Karl, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's your Manx scally way.
I'm sure we're not allowed to do this, though.
No, I think it's highly criminal.
Yeah.
Have you got anything that you getting?
Well, I'll tell you, I am moving shortly, so I mean, I might come in next week. I could have a couple of
I threw away a desk the other day.
I gotta get rid of a bed, a chair, because you know I'm pretty tall. This is so pathetic. Yeah. when I moved up to London, my dad said, well, you want to be careful, because, I mean, the seating in a lot of these London pads, it's bad seating, really low backs, fashionable, isn't it? Fashionable chairs and stuff. You're a big guy, 6'7", you need, like, a decent chair. We went to a shop, it was like a second-hand furniture shop, right? I bought this chair, very high-backed.
Why did you buy that? For a solo, I love that.
It's just a chair, so I could sit in my room and watch TV.
But was it a soft chair, or was it a wooden chair?
It was kind of like a sort of, well, let me explain, because it's kind of like an armchair, but it's kind of got wooden arms. So I get this chair, I bring it up to London, I'm thinking, this is a great chair, this is a wonderful chair. I'm gonna be watching TV, everyone else is gonna be in agony.
You know,
yeah, but I've got this lovely chair, right? And I brought it up, and someone went, they looked at it, they went, isn't that an orthopaedic chair? And I looked at it again, right, and I realised it's kind of white cleanable. It's made of some kind of fabric that allows you to just mop it down with a wet cloth.
Why?
Because I think it came from an old people's home.
Oh.
You know when you see, like, old people in some kind of social room in an old people's home, just sat watching a little crappy old TV, and you can wipe everything clean. It's one of those chairs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So if anyone's, maybe they've got an elderly relative.
Didn't you keep slipping off?
Just goes like, and it's also the most uncomfortable chair because unless you've got chronic back pain, it's just the most uncomfortable chair. It makes you sit bolt upright, if not slightly forward.
You've done a good sell on it. I think either the phones are going mental. How much do you want for that, Steve?
If you've had a recent accident, or you've got a disabled, or someone in the house who's just elderly, then you might want to get in touch. I'm happy to. You can take that off, man, for 25 quid.
This is so wrong.
25 quid. I'll take that. Maybe you're setting up an old people's home. You know, it's a little pet project.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of grant, and we can help.
Exactly.
We can I mean, because though Steve's such a high flyer, I mean, if it really is a good cause, they just give it to you.
Well, let's not rush into anything, really. I like to assess each case, you know, individually.
Yeah.
But certainly if you are a charity, then I might go for 20 quid. You take it off my hands for 20 quid. But otherwise 25, and I tell you, it's in good condition, because I haven't really sat on it.
5 quid off if you really are.
You know, and there were some stains, I've wiped them clean.
Oh dear. Well, that's fantastic. So we've I'll
tell you what we should resuscitate next week, Swap Shop. The multicoloured swap shop.
Honestly,
it's a great format.
But there's a couple of things I've always wanted to get back at. Swap Shop is one of them, and the other one is Superstars.
I don't remember Superstars.
Superstars was great, because it was like the people of their time. So you'd have, like, people like, nowadays, you'd have Beckham, and, what's his name? Who's the tennis player?
Rosetsky?
Yeah, Rosetsky, and they have to compete, so all these people have to compete at each other's sports, and they have to choose 7 out of 10 sports. And there's a leaderboard, and there's a big final. Oh, Keegan came off his bike.
It's not like it's
used to win it. No, it's real sports.
It's
proper sports. It's 100 metres, tennis, weightlifting, all the real sports. You can't do your own sport.
Well, I know you're a pretty big guy now in British TV. You're a bit of a big shot. What do you reckon? Pull some strings?
Let's get it back on there. Superstars.
Superstars, sounds fantastic.
Me, Johnny Vegas, Peter Kay. For the bigger fella, I think, maybe. The comedy superstars. What we got next? We've got a bit of Springsteen, haven't we?
Let's play Springsteen. This is a track from his current album, The Rising. A lot of people think Bruce is a bit MOR, a bit middle of the road or whatever, but, you know, I just think, piss off.
Yeah.
I just think, screw you, let's play it.
Yeah, get lost, you. Yeah. Imagine this, you're open top caddy.
Yeah,
you're just going around Route 66. You're going home maybe for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
To see your folks. Just turn up the radio, if you are.
Play the tune,
Probably not, though.
That just reminded me when I brought so stop it for a second. Just realised, when I brought a woman back, and she saw the orthopaedic chair. You bring a woman back to your pad. Oh, it's embarrassing.
And the harness.
Yeah. And exactly, the truss.
Yeah, and can you give me those 2 splints? I'm sorry? Those 2 splints there. Well, I've got to go. Have you?
Is this a potty under the bed? The Rising, title track from Bruce Springsteen's current album, The Rising. Yeah, it's good.
Great. It's that feeling of, it's melancholy and uplifting. We've had quite an interactive show so far, because we've got a call that Superstars is coming back. It's due to come back in the BBC schedules, which is great news. Apparently Steve Redgrave is one of them. I just don't think, will professional footballers be allowed to take part these days, though? When they're on 50 grand a week, you can't really have them falling off bikes and their ankles, can you?
See McCaskill last night.
Yeah, on Celebrity Fit Club, yeah.
Ian McCaskill.
Oh, he fell off his bike about 3 times, didn't he? Oh, did you see Celebrity Fit Club?
No, I haven't seen it.
There was a great moment where they had to go into a thing called a bod pod, and you sit in it, looks quite space age, and it analyses you, and it tells you percentage body fat. Now, I think, men are meant to be about, sort of, 15 to 25% body fat, women are meant to be like about 20 to 30 body fat. And they all went in there, and, it went in there and it said, Ian McCaskill, and it came up, 34% body fat or whatever. Slightly overweight. I'm gonna come to the 38% overweight. Then it went, the other one, 45% body weight, obese. Then it went, Jono.
Did it say, I don't want to tell you?
Yeah, yeah. And then it went, 50% body fat, very obese. Then Rick Waller was sat in there, and it came up 60% body fat. And I wanted it to come up slug. But it came up morbid at 60, you are 60% fat.
So 60% of him is fat?
Yeah. 60% of his entire makeup.
That's extraordinary.
It is,
well, you know my feelings about Waller.
Well, let's get on to him.
Well, that's the reason I don't watch the show, actually.
I do feel a bit sorry for him, and he is, I think he is trying, although the fella there, thinks he's not trying. So I don't know who to believe, Steve.
Sure. Yeah,
I don't know who to believe Waller, and he does get pains and that, and he is a bit...
The problem is, right, he does like his food.
Yeah, we all like our food.
But if he didn't do the exercise, he wouldn't be as hungry, and he might not get fat.
This is a whole new nutritional outlook.
Absolutely.
So you're saying, don't exercise and carry on eating, and that's interesting. Let me write that one down. I will send that to the British
Nutritional Organisation.
Yeah, no, that's good. Karl Pilkington. Okay, well, no, that's a good...
I'm no doctor or anything.
Whoa, yo, come off it. Stop being so bloody modest.
Please.
You are a doctor. You're not a doctor, seriously. You didn't qualify. That's interesting.
You dropped out early, or?
That's mad. That is mad.
I mean, you're as good as doctor, you just didn't get the paperwork or whatever. You just didn't turn up for the exam.
He was just saying that Bruce Springsteen, depressed him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it reminds him of when he worked in the supermarket. And, so it's funny how a song can do that, take you right back there. He went, yeah, nothing else can do that. I said, well, actually, smell is the most evocative sense, because smell is linked to memory in the brain. And he went, yeah, they probably said that before music, though. And now all science are going, we better revisit this, because there's music now. Yeah. We've had this theory knocking around for, 10,000.
I went to see Bruce, you'll be pleased to know. I just want the fans of the show to know that I did make it to Bruce Springsteen's concert last week. And, he started with that song we just played, and it was dynamite. I mean, he never let up. Almost 3 hours, he rocked the joint. He's 53, he was sliding across, it was pure rock and roll. Pumping our fist, sliding across the floor on his knees, he was jumping on the piano. It was real Jerry Lee Lewis rock and roll. And, it was dynamite. And, I just was looking around though, and when I am the trendiest person at a gig...
Oh dear.
Then I'm in trouble, do you know what I mean? And there was some of the people there, I imagined, you know, on Amazon.com, it says like, people who bought X also bought Y.
Yeah.
And I think people who bought tickets for Bruce probably bought tickets for Mark Knopfler.
Yeah,
Dave Gilmour.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd, without Pink Floyd.
But
Stevie Nicks.
But there's also, but then there's also, all the monsters rock. They probably buy Stones when they visit,
Yeah,
and probably Tina
It's the
Turner.
blue wash jeans.
Yeah.
You know, it's the small waistcoats. Over a denim shirt.
Plaid shirt, maybe sort of like Timberlands. Nothing wrong with Timberlands, that's libelous.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
See, I've done it again.
Yeah. But so it was hell getting out. I couldn't find, I mean, I went to the Tube, and it was a nightmare, because some of the tubes weren't running. I just said to my friend, I'll sod this, stormed off, trying to find a cab, couldn't find a cab, wandering around Wembley, just livid, I mean fuming, because I couldn't find a cab. I was screaming, because I was going, I've got money, I'm on the radio, I've had a TV show, I've got the cash, I'm willing to spend it, there's no one who can help me get home. And I was
I've seen him shout this in Brewer Street, just to standing in the middle, go on.
And I was thinking to myself, what would you have done there? Because in the end, I just sat in a little cafe, had something to eat. But you, I mean, if you couldn't get a cab, what would you have done? Just because there's a couple of, I was looking, there was a couple of hotels near Wembley. I was thinking you'd have just checked in.
Yeah, and just,
and stayed till the morning.
Yeah, when there's a cab, let me know.
But I was thinking, because you were thinking of going, would you have booked a cab beforehand?
Yeah.
Would you have thought to do that?
Yeah, I'd have got a cab there, and I'd have booked a cab
Wouldn't
somewhere.
the helicopter just took you back home?
Yeah.
Oh, he's having a dig, isn't he?
He's having a laugh, isn't he?
Blimey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play the ads.
Death in Vegas. Scorpio Rising.
Featuring the voice of, is it Noel Gallagher?
Liam, innit?
Is it Liam?
Sounded a bit like him.
Liam, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, innit?
Excellent, yeah. Right, okay, let's get this show well and truly on the road. We better start, educating Ricky next, Karl? What have you got for me? I can't wait for learning. I need learning. I need education.
We should just explain, obviously, for those that have just tuned in, Karl, tries to teach Ricky 3 things each week.
Based on the pun title,
and yeah, each of them, just to tantalise Ricky, is, abbreviated into some kind of headline.
A cryptic clue involving a pun.
So what have you got for us this week?
They are really cryptic this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
First story, little headline, is, don't worry about him, he can handle it.
He can handle it?
Yeah.
Sounds a bit like he can handle it, but it's not. Brilliant.
Second one.
Get a lobe of
I'm
get a lobe of this.
It's a classic. So you can forget. Get a lobe of this.
Yeah. Coming soon.
And Stocking Aitken Waterman. Go on.
Second one.
Yeah.
I'm committed to this treatment.
I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Alright, tantalising.
Yeah. And the last one, the police are causing a bit of a stare.
The way he looks when he says it. I wish we could see. Can't we get Karl on telly?
There's got to be a way.
We cannot. With all the cable channels, anyone can get on telly these days. Let's phone up. Let's get you on Choice or something. Just a little. Just Karl.
What are you going for?
Oh, he can handle it. I think.
Don't worry about him. He can handle it.
He can handle it. Okay, let's hear this one.
Right, are you familiar with the phrase "burning the candle at both ends"?
Yeah.
Do you know how it's come about?
I know a man who does.
I assumed that it was to get more light in the room.
How would that work?
Well, they'd put it sideways and light both wicks, so out of one candle they could get two. No, go on.
No, what it is...
I know what it means. It means you're doing too much, you're staying up too much, you're not getting enough sleep, and you're...
Well, years ago...
Yeah.
When they didn't have light bulbs and that...
Oh yeah, what year is this? Literally ages ago, specifically.
Yeah, quite a bit back.
Okay.
Didn't have light bulbs and that, so they used to have candles
When did the light bulb come in? Because I can't remember at the moment.
Don't know.
Okay, go on.
So, yeah, so they've got a light bulb.
You wouldn't know, you're a doctor, you're not a historian, go on.
And people who worked a lot of hours, yeah.
How many? Literally lots?
They get up early in the morning because they have to be up early.
Yeah.
And it's dark outside, so they light the candle.
Sure.
And they wear it out a bit. And then they'd be getting in late as well.
Yeah.
And, like, they'd be like, oh, it's dark, I'll have to light the candle again. And they're burning candle at both ends of the day. So that's where the saying comes from, burning the candle at both ends. So...
Alright.
That's a little lesson.
Yeah.
Lesson 1.
Okay. Can I have...
No, you can't have
You can't rush into them, Rick. You've got to...
I've got to soak in that.
You've got to soak that one in. Any questions for Karl off the back of that?
What do you think?
So people were, I mean, basically where this comes from is people were...
literally burning the candle at both ends of the day.
Sure.
There you go. So we've still got...
Go on.
I'm committed to this treatment. And
I can't wait. This is like Christmas
Rick,
Eve for me. It's like Christmas. I've got to open another present now.
No, I'm afraid we've got to save it. Rick, listen. We often get a lot of email correspondence during the show, Rick, which I don't sort of pass on to you because I mean you're busy, you're planning the show and stuff. You've got a lot of ideas, you've got music and stuff to worry about. So I check the emails, and we get a lot of response. A lot of people obviously want to give us feedback. Just a sample one from Richard Anderson. He's just emailed us in here, Rick, because he's been listening to the show. He says, Ricky, your show is appalling. Are you actually aware you're on the radio, or has someone just secretly stuck a microphone on you? That's from Richard Anderson. So that's typical of the kind of feedback, Rick, we're getting today. So,
it's that good, is it?
So that's the kind of, high positive praise that we're getting. So,
I'm glad Anderson's listening, because I wanted him... I was gunning for him as a fan.
I was worried that
early on in our career, so I think he's hooked now, though.
But thanks, Anders, for getting in touch. Good work.
He's sitting through it for Hellraiser, though, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's still to come, of course, Rockbusters.
Still to come. What we playing?
A bit of old dirty I can't say the word, it's offensive. Old
Is it
ODB.
bollocks? Is it old dirty bollocks?
No.
What is it?
Old dirty...
Old dirty big cock? What is it?
I can't tell you, it's offensive.
Breaks up.
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Funny word, isn't it?
It's a funny word. What other funny words are there,
Although
Karl?
XFM's a funny word, I just say the letters out, because the word doesn't make sense.
Just, let me just check Richard Anderson's email again, just to remind myself of...
Go on.
Ricky, your show is appalling. Richard Anderson, thanks. What I like about, Dickie Anders is that he's obviously so angry, he's so annoyed by the show, that he's bothered to email just to get the venom out. Otherwise you'd just think you'd switch over. Well, he's obviously so annoyed, he's had to switch on the computer.
He knows how to hurt someone as well.
Exactly, he's really taken the time out to show his disapproval.
Of giving up.
I'll tell you what though, it is pretty hard to listen to.
What, this?
Yeah.
I've listened back to the tape, that one when you're making that thing for the best of.
Yeah.
And I mean, I sounded like Albert's Taplock. I really sounded like some sort of punch-drunk stroke victim. And oh, there you go. I was gonna say, I don't remember myself like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do apologise. It's not a great planned show, slick word of articulate sentence, is it? But I mean, then who is?
But I think, I mean, there's so many shows that are, you know, nowadays on radio. I think there's a lot of stuff that's heavily formatted, you know, and there's with, you know, I don't know, presenters who are professional and have got some sort of degree of talent.
Yeah.
And an ability to sort of string a sentence together. You know, I'm thinking Chris Moyles.
Yeah.
Predominantly.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm bored with those slick people,
exactly.
You know. I think we need a little bit of Karl in our life.
I'm just thinking, actually, I've just suddenly struck me, if you want to get rid of your furniture.
Got a buyer.
You've already got a buyer.
Got a buyer.
Because if there's any other stuff, we were clearing some stuff out of our place recently, and we just dumped some stuff outside on the street, because we were going to take it and take it to the tip later. Just dump some stuff outside. And I have never seen so many people come out of the woodwork scavenging through our garbage. It was incredible. They were like zombies.
Well, that's what I was saying.
They were like flies around shit.
But when I said to Karl,
that's what you should just do, just dump it outside, because it'll get taken.
When he went, he said, do you think I asked enough, 100? I went, yes, definitely. He went, oh, I could ask what? I said, no, don't do that. I said, because you'll end up having to pay the council to take it away. He said, I wouldn't. He said, I'd rather just dump it and let little homeless fella have it. And then he went, imagine the little homeless fella sitting at the desk.
Can you imagine, right, I walk past, he's sat outside Hearts, right, the little 24-hour shop, sat outside there, and he goes, have you got any change? And I go, I can do better than that.
Yeah, here's a chair and table.
Here's a futon. Yeah. A futon, no less. Not your boring bed, but a trendy, yeah.
Well, but the thing is, amazing the number of people that would stop to look at our junk. There was a car driving by with a family and kids, perfectly respectable, just driving past, you know, on their way to somewhere, stopped, got out, got the kids out of the car, come on kids, let's just look through this junk. But I like the idea
You said we were going to Walton Towers, Dad.
No, sorry, no time. We're not going to the zoo, let's look through this rubbish.
We're not going looking through people's rubbish
Put
again,
these gloves on, look through this shit.
Ow! That's a needle!
That's a needle. It was, I mean, who does that? Well, it was like a Saturday afternoon. Kids were just gonna go and look through some rubbish. And one guy, this is the most incredible one, one guy, I caught him going through the bins as I came in. I said, alright, what are you doing? He was one of those homeless guys who likes to remain dignified.
Why did you say, what are you doing?
Well, because it was my house, I had to go I had to squeeze past him.
He wasn't in your kitchen.
He was in our front garden.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, going through rubbish. He'd torn the bags open, he was going through it. I said to him, what are you up to? He went, oh yeah, just looking at stuff. Don't worry, I'll clean it all up afterwards, just looking for a few odds and ends, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh well, you can take what you want, you know, it's all going away. Yeah, thanks very much, thanks. Yeah. So he went off, right, I didn't think anything of it. I was walking past the shops the following day, there's a little sort of, kind of 7-Eleven, right, I was walking past, I thought, oh, that's interesting, a Gil Scott Heron album for sale. And I looked, I thought, wait a minute, this is all our rubbish. And the guy had set up like a little car boot sale outside the 7-Eleven on the pavement. He'd taken our junk, he'd marked on prices. There's like an old RAC book from 1976 that had been lying in the house, a Yellow Pages, you know, and he'd marked up the prices.
How much was Yellow Pages?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
What year was that
50p, I snapped it up. I thought that's a bargain. And, it was incredible, the cheek of just selling our junk outside.
Enterprise, Karl. You did that. What did you used to do? You used to sell flowers.
I sold flowers. I sold fizzy drinks at school.
Did you?
Yeah.
What that you made?
It was Soda Stream, yeah. Made some,
Well, of course, when you were doing your Pilkies making music, your disco, you used to go into Mum's bedroom and find a pair of tights and a cigar.
Yeah, they'd be prizes.
Did your dad used to smoke cigars in tights, or your mum? Which one of them? He's just... Go on.
Right, look, let's,
Yeah, we're educating Ricky.
No. We're teasing that. Rockbusters.
Well, I think we should play a tune and come back with Rockbusters.
Oh, the show's fallen down. We were going so well. No, it's just the energy, isn't it? The first hour we got through.
I'm still in good spirits.
Is this still good, is it, this show?
I'm enjoying it, yeah.
Yeah?
I'm
It's still good, is it?
Let me just check, just check what Richard Anderson thinks of it.
Good evening, round again.
No, he thinks it's appalling. No, the Dixter thinks it's appalling, so, we should play a tune, because he prefers the music.
Bit of Aqualung.
Aqualung.
Rockbusters next.
I like that. That's great, isn't it? Aqualung. Good time's gonna come. Well, Karl, we've got loads of ideas. We've got emails coming left, right and centre. I think you've caused quite a stir. I think you've turned this show around, to be honest. I'm being, honestly. Yeah, no, you've done really well. You're actually acting a bit like a producer, isn't he? And, you're coming through in your own right.
Yeah.
We've had a great suggestion.
We've had a great email here. Let me just check
this, Karl.
Let me just check.
Listen to this.
This is from Jeff Dunn. He's a big fan of the show, and he's just had a genius idea. He's saying, "You're moving house, Karl. Why don't Ricky and I come round? We can do a live outside broadcast from your flat. We can observe from your kitchen those weirdos that live opposite.
Yeah.
We can maybe just wander around, just see the kind of place that you've got. You know, maybe check out your record collection, your clothes, what you got in the bathroom.
It'd be amazing.
Your futon.
It'd be like Louis Theroux, wouldn't it? We'd be Louis Theroux.
Come on, Karl. This is a dynamite idea.
Nah.
Why?
I don't want you coming around making a mess and that.
We won't make a mess.
We're one person will take our shoes off.
When have I ever made a mess in the studio?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
but do you know what I mean?
We're not going to make a mess. We're not going to have anything with us.
But what's in it for anyone?
Well, it's just a fascinating insight into you.
Yeah, but, right, when I see that little Chinese kid across the road who's dancing about in his underpants, that's in the evening, right? He's not going to be doing that on a Saturday, so you'll be disappointed there.
Sure.
That old woman...
But you could at least show us the room in which he dances.
Yeah, when you say little Chinese kid, he's a 35-year-old man, isn't he?
Yeah, well...
yeah, you don't...
That's
But anyway, that's beside the point. You know, we'll find our own amusement.
No, I don't, and the woman downstairs has got a baby, and if we make loads of noise, and that gets stressed out...
We're not gonna make noise, are we? Just gonna have a conversation in your flat. Have a cup of tea.
Yeah, but if we're doing OB, we need to get, like, a car outside with a big aerial on it, and the parking's bad round our way.
What do you mean you have to do what do you mean?
To do an outside broadcast.
Can't they put in an ISDN line just for the dance?
No, because it'll make a mess of the wall, and I won't get my deposit back. So, we'll leave that. Thanks for the idea.
You know, he's going around painting all the little holes, to get his deposit back in the wall. He wants to get his deposit back. It's probably cost him about 400 quid redecorating.
Let's remind people, Karl, of the prizes for Rockbusters this week. It's dynamite stuff. We've got the David Attenborough DVD Nature Collection. We've got a number of CDs, the best of David Bowie. We've got a Madness CD, not quite sure whether that's songs from the musical or their original tunes. Country Legends, 2 CDs there of great country music.
Brilliant.
And the remix to XFM compilation. Plus, of course, the big movie prize this week.
Hellraiser!
Hellraiser! If you haven't seen it already, then I assume you have never seen a film before. Because I don't know if there's anyone who hasn't seen Hellraiser. But obviously you have to be above 18 to join, to play the competition.
Come on in.
So,
how long would you want to be around for? Is this just for the...
Just for the show. A couple of hours.
2 hours. You just get the desk in there. A live OB.
We could check out the futon, we could sing its praises.
Check the Fulton, right, yeah. Oh, you might have sold that by now.
In fact, we could have someone come round and buy it live on air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Think about it. Think about it.
It's great.
How did Graceland start? Because that was... that was his normal house, and then he took over. Right, anyway, Rockbusters.
Yeah, go on.
I give a cryptic clue.
Yeah.
And a letter, and it makes up a band, right?
He never said the word cryptic a few months ago. I love it. Do you know what I mean? I feel it's like our own little Eliza Doolittle.
Yes.
Right, even Richard will like this one. Here we go then. First one. There's 3 of them, and you email in.
If this doesn't turn Dickie round, nothing will.
This is an email-only competition.
Email only. Right, here's the first one. Initial is B, so it's a band starting with B.
Okay.
And the cryptic clue is, I don't like them birds, they shouldn't be allowed in this area.
I don't like them birds, they shouldn't be allowed in this area. Next one.
Right, the next one. He doesn't like women, yet he's got a couple of kids, that's a bit weird.
Is that a cryptic clue, or is that just...
Is that just a
general point?
Is that
That's the cryptic clue.
Okay.
And the initials there are PD.
Okay.
And, the last one,
I've got that one, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Okay, quickly.
Oh, God.
And the last one is, that bloke who does...
Come on!
It's making me laugh.
Come on, Karl, be professional.
Right, the last one. Right. I can't do it, it's making me laugh.
Oh, come on, I'll come and read them then.
No, hang on,
come on, Karl.
Right, here we go.
They don't do this on Blockbusters on TV, do they?
No, come on.
That bloke who does sport on telly. He's got a little kid, right? Initials DC.
What?
Right?
Is that,
I'm completely confused by that.
Was that the clue?
Yeah, that bloke who does sport on telly.
Yeah.
He's got a little kid. Initials DC.
Okay, is that a band? Or an artist?
It's... well, I'm not going to tell you.
This is not a well-known sandwich. Is it... What is it? Is it a band or an artist?
So just quickly recap. That's,
okay.
It's
Come on, Karl!
Right.
Come on.
Quick recap. The first one is B. I don't think them birds should be around in this area. Right, that's B, right? Second one, he doesn't like women, yet he's got a few kids. It's a bit weird. That's PD. And the final one, that bloke who does sport on the telly, he's got a little kid, right? DC.
Alright, and it's ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you want to enter for Hellraiser.
Oh, I'll tell you what, continue to do that little theme of like some old stuff people haven't heard of. If you're under 30, you probably never heard of this band. It's also a new thing I'm going to introduce. It's Show Up Camfield. Camfield talks the talk, he doesn't walk the walk, he doesn't play some rock classics on his show, because he's scared. I'm going to play the tracks that Camfield's too scared to play. This is Kansas and Carry On Your Wayward Son, alright?
Brawl.
Nirvana.
Amazing.
We were just talking, we were getting excited about that,
Yeah, he's got an incredible voice, he has.
And Grohl, drumming, it's brilliant. You Know You're Right, the new one from Nirvana. Well, it's time for Educating Ricky Part 2, isn't it? I'm excited, Karl. I'm going to learn so much from this. What's the choices again? What
Right, you've got left...
Still keep phoning your answers to,
email.
Email, sorry, yeah.
The answers to Rockbusters.
Yeah. Right, okay, Educating Ricky, Part 2.
Right. I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Is one.
Oh, I've got to go for that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or the other one is the police are causing a bit of a stir.
He still says it like it's the best thing he's ever come up with, which in a way it is.
It could be. Right, go on then. I'm committed to this treatment.
Right. Do you know the saying...
Oh, is it just sayings now? Are they all sayings this week?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, the other one isn't. Frog in your throat?
The saying, there's a frog in your throat?
Yeah.
I assume it's, when you, croak a little bit. You sound like a frog.
No. Right. Might seem a bit weird, this one, right? But years ago...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what is that clue? Committed to this treatment?
It's about frogs Kermitted.
It probably works better with a K and an ER written down.
Well, also, if you'd pronounced it Kermitted...
Yeah.
But not committed.
Committed to this treatment! Right, go on then.
That's genius.
So yeah.
Well, what?
You go to the doctors and you go with throat hurting a bit.
Right.
And what they did ages ago.
Ages ago? What year was this approximately?
We are going back quite a bit with this one.
Oh, okay, go on.
And the doctor would say...
He got did history. Imagine years ago. Go on.
And the doctor would say, right, keep your mouth open, I need to look at your tonsils. And the jaw would ache a bit, because they weren't as quick back then, because they didn't have the technology and stuff, and they'd have to, like, stare at it and study it and stuff. And, like, they get an achy jaw, right?
Keeping their mouth open.
Yeah, like, you get, you know,
Yeah.
when you eat a Mars bar or whatever, it's a bit, So, they'd sat there, and they used to always close their mouth, and it used to annoy the doctor, right?
Sure.
So what they did, they used to get a toad,
right,
and put it in the mouth.
Rubbish.
Okay, keep talking. Keep talking.
And, that way, they couldn't close the mouth, because either they'd squash it.
Right.
Or, apparently, you're not allowed to, lick a toad's back.
So the doctor would have them for breaking the law?
No, but it's poisonous, right? A toad's back. You should never lick a toad's back.
Sorry.
Or put it in your mouth, really.
Oh, just stop for a second.
Wait. What?
Can I just ask one question?
Go on,
Can I just ask one question?
I've got a few, but go on.
Sure. My initial thought is, it sounds like a brilliant bit of sort of medical, knowledge there. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
My only thought is, how does the doctor see past the toad at your tonsils?
What's he actually looking at with the mouth open? Surely the toad is in
it
the
like
way.
hopping around in the way?
It didn't say.
Sorry, and my first question is, was this on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Karl, that is bollocks. That is, I mean,
Well, alright then. Let's turn this round. Where does the saying, you got a frog in your throat come from?
probably because you sound a bit croaky. Probably that. Probably because you sound a little bit like a frog when you've got a sore throat.
Karl, did you not question it just for a moment when you read it? Just for a second, didn't you think, that seems an odd approach? Firstly, why a frog, of all the different
because
species?
it's poisonous. A toad.
So it's a toad as well?
Yeah, well, it worked. I'm committed. Worked.
No,
I
was gonna change it to, have you heard the news, Toad Day? But I went with the frog.
Oh, God!
Right, so
that's
think
rubbish.
about it.
So that's rubbish. Next, can I have,
Let's play a tune, let's come up with the last one.
Oh,
Can I just
Colin?
say... No, just play it.
yeah?
yo, Karl.
I have to thank my mate Dave, who sent me an incredible 4-disc compilation. That was one of the tunes on there.
It looks professional, it's amazing.
It's incredible,
The effort
Oh,
is
he's gone to too much
commendable.
effort. Ben Queller, it's a track called In Other Words from his album Shah Shah.
Open wide. Oh dear, that's interesting. Oh, here, doctor. Look, you've actually got a frog in your throat. I didn't get there. I put it in there. That's the most ludicrous story I've ever heard, Karl. Why didn't you think when you read these things?
I think there's always going to be a bit of truth in all of these. I mean, that fella called up, didn't he, and said, I'm not sure about the, putting a frog in your throat if you've got, problems with your tonsils or whatever. But he said, years ago, if someone had toothache, they'd get hold of a frog and strap it to the face.
Yeah, sure.
So, maybe, down the line, maybe they did. Maybe they didn't do it for long.
I think Caligula made his emperor, a horse and emperor as well, but I mean, it doesn't... Go on.
Dick Anderson's been back in touch.
Excellent.
I think, so he's obviously...
We've turned him round now,
well,
he loves it now,
he's been tuning in, he says,
loves it now.
He says, Ricky, thanks for a really forgettable 2 hours of radio. I think I'll spend the time next week counting my feet. That's from Richard Anderson. So, we've turned him round.
Do you know where the phrase counting my feet comes from? Well, in the olden days, right, and I'm talking ages ago, when you really loved something, you used to, as a sign of respect, like, say, a radio show, you'd count your feet. And that's where that comes from, Karl.
Well, what about the frog thing with a poisonous back?
It's rubbish.
That's true. No, the toads have, the secretions in the
Why?
But they didn't put it in people's mouths.
No, so, well, I'll tell you why. When a badger or a heron tastes the toad, it's horrible. Ugh. The toad might die, but it's for the good of the species, because then, think how many toads, looking like that, a heron could eat in its lifetime. So, the fact that one toad sacrificed itself, all those other toads, in that heron's manner, will be safe.
Why? I mean, we've talked about animals a lot on the show, right? Yeah. And when God made a toad...
Sure.
Right, okay, well, I'm gonna stop you there, straight away.
Don't. Just let him carry on.
Right. Okay. There's annoying things out there, jellyfish is a big problem with me. I don't understand what they do in the sea and stuff.
Right.
Right, but we'll leave them.
God's a problem for me, but go on.
We won't talk about jellyfish. No. With the toad, right, if it's to protect itself...
Yeah.
Right, now
say... It's not to protect itself, it's to protect its species.
No, yeah, but that, surely, right, if the toad had a choice, if God said, right, what I'm gonna do for you here, you can have something like a lobster's got claws, big claws to have a fight. Or, I can give you something that if someone's having a go at you, you've got to try and persuade them to lick your back. As a defence.
Yeah.
What use is, right...
Oh, God's...
Well, I'll tell you why.
What is God up to?
The fact that there are still toads around is a testament to that defence working. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay? If the toad had died out, you'd have a point. But they're still around. It works. Alright?
And don't start slagging God off. He's got a lot on his plate. Basically, I think he took on too much.
Particularly in 1 week.
Exactly, it was crazy.
Danger High Voltage, Electric 6, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant. Karl's getting all flustered because I put an elastic band around his head. And we've had a definition of,
well, hang on a sec, because there's an update to that, Rick.
Go on.
We did just have, one definition here of a frog in the throat. Apparently this has come from some internet site, so who knows how convincing it is, but it says frog in the throat, meaning suffering from temporary hoarseness, needing to clear the throat. Origin from the Old English frogger, meaning hoarseness. That's from Chris. Now that sounds slightly suspect to me.
Why?
But frogger? I mean, it seems odd that it would derive from that when it so clearly appears to be you sound like a frog when you have a sore throat.
Yeah, but the word frog could come from Frogger, because it sounds like it's croaking.
Wasn't Frogger a game you could play on the, on the Spectrum? That's a great game. But listen, hang on, there's an update to that, because, just to
common frog, of course, Rana temporara, that's the Latin name. Well, your toad is Buffo Buffo.
You may be trying to show off, but I think you're about to embarrass yourself as well, because you've been slagging off young Karl.
Yeah.
It says here, another email, it doesn't tell us who it's from. Although it's hard to believe now, at one time, medieval physicians believed that the secretions of a frog could cure a cough if they were coated on the throat of the patient. That in itself sounds repulsive, but what makes the idea even worse is the application of the secretions. Instead of painting the treatment on, something which may also have seemed rational, a live frog was placed into the mouth of the sufferer, where it remained until the physician decided that the treatment was complete.
Right.
Apparently Shakespeare's son-in-law, that's a question mark, I don't know what that means. Anyway, it's no wonder that today a froggy or croaky attempt at speech is said to be a frog in your throat. So, you can see that what's happened there is Karl's misread, or been slightly misinformed about, a medieval practice. In a sense, you're both winners, just for taking part. What's your final one, Karl?
Right, the final story is, the police are causing a bit of a stir.
I can't wait.
It's about this fella, I think it's in England somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know when it happened, but,
literally ages ago, or?
well, I think it's when they were trying to crack down on, like, drunken people walking about in the street.
Oh, yeah.
And they found this
Saturday. Big Saturday, that one.
And, found this fella, and, all the local people were saying, oh, look at him wandering around, he's drunk and what have you. That's not right. Get the police in. He got arrested and that, and they got him in the court. And, the judge was there, and he says, so, you know, what's all this? What's going on? What are you doing wandering about when you've had a drink? You know the rules. You shouldn't be doing that. You had a glazed expression on your face. Blah, blah, blah. What do you have to say for yourself? He only had a glass eye.
So did he have 2 glass eyes?
No, he had 1. But that was, they were about to sort of lock him up.
Was he a bit pissed up as well?
Well, he was pretty livid.
But was he also drunk with a glass eye?
No, that's the weird thing. He wasn't even, he hadn't even had a drink.
So they just thought, because he had a weird stare.
Because his eyes were all glazed.
Yeah. Where'd you get this from? Why are you telling me this? No, but why are you telling me this? I mean, thank you, because it's, you know, killed a couple of minutes, but why is this educating me? What are you telling me here?
Because there's a bit of a thing there, a bit of a fable, that don't always judge a book by its cover. Yeah? So, the guy, he hadn't even had a drink. He'd probably just been shopping.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, and everyone's, like, getting involved. Like, what's he doing?
Hang on, I don't understand. He's walking down the street, happens to have a glass eye. He was doing nothing else to suggest he was drunk. You don't pick people up just because their eye looks slightly off.
But even if it happened, why are you telling me? With no particular detail. I know this, that we're gonna get
It's not enough information.
I know, yeah.
No, there's a bit of a lesson there, educating Ricky. Just, you know, just watch what you say. Don't always jump to conclusions.
The only education I can take from that is that, if I ever do become a policeman, I shouldn't just arrest people because they look a bit drunk. I should just tap their eye with a pen and goes, oh, okay, on you go.
Well,
on you go, yeah.
Guys, can I just stop you there? I'm just gonna email Richard Anderson and tell him I agree.
Right, listen, we're running out of time and that.
We've got where did the phrase frog in the throat come from?
We've got it here, it's been told.
Well, there's 3.
Can we play a tune and come back with that? Have we got anything lined up?
Yeah, we've got the song with a story in it.
Come on, Karl, let's do something. Quick, play a record.
Song with a story in it.
But never mind that, just, they're listening. We discussed this off air, come on. Play a record.
Play it.
It's
Kinks.
It's a song with a good story in it. You gotta listen to the words.
Karl, what was that? That was your little song with a story,
that's another little feature that we do every Saturday.
So make sure you tune in.
It's a song that's got a good story in it. There's a lot of music about these days.
What's that story about then? What's that story about?
You don't know what they're going on about. Whereas that, classic from the Kinks, called Lola.
Yeah, what's it about?
I'd listened to it for the first time properly this morning.
Yeah.
And what I've worked out from it is, there's a fella who goes out for a normal Saturday night out. He's in Soho.
Yeah.
He's having a Coca-Cola or whatever. And he sees this woman, and he thinks, yeah, she's alright.
Yeah.
Won't mind a bit of that. So he wanders over, and he sort of gets talking to her. He looks at her, and she's got a great figure, nice face and all that.
Lovely knob.
And she speaks, and he goes, oh, God. Got a bit of a bloke's voice.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a voice like a bloke. But he thought, but, you know, that's her only down point.
Sure.
So he dances around with her, and I think he sits on his knee, I think he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out it's a fella.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
a sobering lesson.
Yeah.
What do you take from that?
Look, always sort of, if you think you might be talking to, a bloke who's just look at his sort of Adam's apple. I'll probably have a hairier arse than a woman.
Yeah, I think you've gone too far then, though. I think you're already getting too close.
It's a bit late to pull out.
No pun intended, definitely.
There was a pun intended.
Oh, was it? Alright, was it?
Yes.
Alright, okay, we don't be disgusting then. Right, okay, right, the results of,
We ain't got a winner for the first time.
Yes, we have.
We've done
loads.
this feature for...
We've got loads of winners.
No, we haven't. We've done this feature for 3 weeks. This is the first time I've managed to sort of...
What?
Well, let's go through them then.
What have they got wrong?
The first one.
The first one?
What was the clue? Well, hang on, let's do them in reverse order first. So what's the last one?
The last one, the clue was, that bloke does sport on the telly and he's got a little kid.
What's that?
That's Destiny's Child. Des, who does ITV Sport, has got a tiny child, right? No, that's fine,
Yeah,
they got that.
Okay, Destiny's Child. What's the middle one?
Right, the middle one. Right.
Child.
The second one was, he doesn't like women, yet he's got a couple of kids. That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Right? That was PD, that was Puff Daddy.
That is offensive. Go on.
But it's not Puff Daddy. It's Puff Daddy. And he's not even called that anymore, he's called P. Diddy.
Well...
Okay, fair enough.
But they got that one.
Yeah.
And if I'm being tight, these lot are as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tight means something in Manchester. Go on.
Right? And the first one that they're having problems with, I don't think them birds should be allowed in this area.
They've got it. Boyzone.
It's not Boyzone.
What's the clue again?
I don't think them birds should be allowed in this area.
That is perfect. A boyzone. No birds.
No women.
No women, yeah, birds, right? A boyzone. Sorry, Karl. If that isn't the answer, their clue is better than yours. That is brilliant. What was yours? Boyzone, it works perfectly.
What's your answer then?
Bangles.
I have no idea what that means.
Like seagulls. So you don't want them in this area, so you're banning them. Bangles.
Oh! Well, give it to Boyzone, because Boyzone's better. Don't use birds to be allowed in this area, it's a Boyzone.
I think we should have a rollover. Karl beat them. Karl beat them. You have to use his logic, surely.
But theirs works. You can't do what am I thinking. No, that's not what I'm thinking. It works perfectly. I think you've got to give it to the ones that got the Boyzone.
Well, how about, right, because they didn't actually get into my head and my way of thinking,
heaven
right?
forbid.
How about we just keep back the David Attenborough, and they can have, I'll chuck in the Hellraiser, right?
Okay.
And Blondie album and the Madness one.
Yeah, okay, pick a winner at random.
Pick a winner, Steve.
I'm gonna give it to Paul Sloman, who got those answers, and he also says, P.S. Karl, you're a moron. So, I'm giving that to Paul, and good luck to him.
Right, well.
He's got a crazy night tonight. If we can rush these over to him, he's got a cracking Saturday night.
Well, if I'm a moron, I might get your address wrong when I send them to you.
Ooh. Oh, coming right back at you, Paul.
Yes.
Coldplay, the scientist. Have you seen the video of that?
Great, it's just brilliant.
I think I might have worked out. What is, he's walking backwards, it's all filmed backwards, but he's singing forward. Now, the only way I can work out they've done it, without CGI in it and cheating with the lips, is that he had to learn it backwards and did it sort of like bit by bit. Did he do that?
He was on Zoe's show, like, about a week ago or something, and
so
he sang it backwards.
So he learned phrases and they filmed that.
Yeah.
But he didn't learn the whole song, did he? He couldn't possibly have learned the whole song. He must have, like, stopped it and...
Dunno.
It's a great video, though. They always do a good video.
No, it's very good indeed.
So it was, yeah, The Scientist on XFM. Wonderful one. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
I had a bit of good news this morning.
Go on.
I was on the tube coming down, and I don't want to sound arrogant, I don't want to sound pushy, but I was at Green Park, and I'm fairly certain, Rick, it's not 100% corroborated, I'm fairly certain that a woman pinched my arse. So what do you think of that? Yes.
There's a lot of pickpockets around Green Park.
No, my wallet was still there.
Really?
But even if it wasn't, you know, that would have been money well spent. But but the wallet was still there, so what do you think of them apples? Eh?
So what did she just pinch your arse?
I can't confirm it at this stage, exactly what happened, but it certainly felt like a pinch. I looked round, there was a woman behind me.
Right.
She was fairly old. I think she's probably in her mid-30s.
Right.
Kind of reddish hair.
Right.
I don't know if she's listening.
Right.
But, she knows where I am. And, so I don't know how to proceed, really, Rick. I don't know if it's worth putting up some posters around the Green Park area.
Well, what you could
just
do-
to try and corroborate it.
Well-
If you saw a woman pinch the lanky guy's arse,
No,
please
well,
get in touch.
you could probably get in, contact with British Rail and go back over their CCTV
Exactly,
thing.
CCTV cameras, yeah.
And then they could probably zoom in and, sort of identifying sort of birthmarks, or she might have been holding some
Then I could hire a private eye.
Yeah.
Again, money well spent.
Well, so there you go.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying maybe maybe things are looking up.
Things
It's getting
are-
towards Christmas.
The worm has turned.
I mean, it's a little, sexy story to get the show going.
It is
But
pretty
what do you make
sexy.
of that then, Karl?
What do you
'Cause I
think
know
of
you're
that, Karl?
quite damning. What's your answer?
Well, I mean, you're quite a tall fella,
Sure.
so she must have really wanted to sort of reach up and have a pinch.
Hmm.
Do you know
Well,
what
you
I
think
mean?
maybe
was a dwarf?
she did it with her teeth?
He didn't say she was a dwarf.
No, but Steve's taller than, his arse.
Yeah, but his arse isn't 6'9", is it? His arse is about 3 foot off the floor.
4 foot?
What?
4 foot off the floor?
No, I don't think so. About 3. She'd have to be a midget to have to reach up to pinch Steve's arse. He is very tall, but
I don't know what your point is there, Karl. You're just trying to, you're just,
No,
I think
no.
maybe just a little bit jealous. Just a little bit of jealousy.
Well, do you know what happened to me on the way in?
go on.
A homeless person called me a dickhead.
How did he know? Do you know him? Is that what?
He's like the local
Ne'er-do-well.
big issue fella.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he knows me, he sees me walking up and down the street.
Oh, that's
a
how he
lot,
knew you.
Right? So normally I have a bit of a chat with him and that. And I walk past him. And, I can be a little bit cheeky with him, because I've been cheeky with him in the past with stuff.
You pinched his arse.
No, just, saying stuff like, God, you're always there, you got home to go to, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
No, but
just
he-
breaking the ice. Go
No,
on.
but he knows, and he'd laughed at that, right,
Yeah,
last time,
yeah,
so I thought
yeah.
I can be a bit cheeky, right? So he goes, do you want a big issue? I said, no. He said, come on, I've got loads of them, right? So I sort of said, when I was a kid, and I used to do a free paper around the free papers one, I said, just put them in the bin and go home, right? And he went, yeah, but how am I going to get any money doing that, you dickhead?
You see, I can see his point. He is homeless and having to sell newspapers to get 50p or a quid or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes I treat him, right? And today I didn't have any money. I had a takeaway last night, and I normally give them a quid, and I felt bad not being able to do that because I didn't have any money on me last night.
Right.
I couldn't look him in the eye.
Did
last
you
night.
explain this to the homeless person, the traumas of the takeaway without the tip? Did you explain that, you've had it hard as well? I go, look, you don't know
I
what
had food delivered to my warm flat.
Yeah,
It was a
you
nightmare.
don't know what that's like. You don't know what the trauma is because you can't have food delivered to your flat because you haven't got one. So please don't look at me like that. You should have said.
But most people ignore him. At least I gave him a bit of acknowledgement and sort
Yeah,
of...
took the mic.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was. I just was being friendly.
No, I know.
You gotta be careful with the homeless, because this is true, and this is, when the clocks went, was it the clocks went back recently?
Yeah.
So you got an extra hour in bed?
Yeah.
And, I was at Cash Point with a friend of mine, and there was a homeless person sat by the Cash Point, and, we would get some money out, and she said, spare some change. And my friend's, he's a bit awkward, he's just trying to make conversation with her, he went, clocks go back? Extra hour in bed?
Oh no.
I gave her £2. I felt so bad. He didn't do it intentionally. He didn't
No,
realise
I
what
know.
he'd said.
I
Just
know,
making
just
conversation.
bumbling.
It's tricky making conversation with the homeless, because there's so many areas you've got to avoid.
I
What was
know.
on the telly.
Yeah.
you know.
Although I get recognised by homeless people and they are they? I don't know where.
Well, you got to remember that's pretty much your demographic, Rick.
Yeah,
You know, people who watch TV through the window of Dixon's.
Yeah, in Dixon's. Yeah, there was a Ricky Gervais is on.
Yeah.
Pop the
Well,
telly on.
they can smell the alcohol on you. They think you're one of them.
Oh, I've had to cut down on that. I've been really good with this training thing.
The boxing.
Play a record and I'll tell you about that. I had my first week of training. I'm in trouble. I'm struggling.
What do you want to play?
Oh, have we got a bit of, have we? Stone Roses, classic.
Feeder, come back around. XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Alright? Yeah, so I had my first week of training for this, charity boxing. For those people who don't know, I'm fighting Grant Bovey, Anthea Turner's husband. It sounds arbitrary, but it's actually because he's, at 41 and about my weight, a bit taller, I think. But, and we've never done it before, but, no, it'd be fun. Battling someone for charity.
Yes.
No, but, it's, and I can't believe my luck, because I've been a fight fan for like 30 years, and they took me shopping, they bought me all the gear, and the training's great. It's really hard. I mean, it's, I imagine it'd be really hard, and it's probably slightly harder than I imagined. And the only bit I like, so I don't like all the exercise and all the stuff you've got to do. I like the bits that look a bit like something I've seen in a Rocky film.
Right, sure.
You know, we did that thing with the string along the ring and I have to pop up and punch and that.
Right.
That was great.
Right, nice.
Skipping's not bad. I'm trying to get good at that. I like that ball that you go.
Yeah. Are you any good at that? Is that?
I'm getting good at it.
And what's that teaching you, that particular thing? It's just the rhythm, is it?
It's rhythm, and of course your arms are up for that long, so you've got to keep your guard up all the time. Yeah. So that teaches you to keep your arms up.
And you were up at 6 this morning, you broke some raw eggs into a cup and you ran up the steps of the town hall, didn't you? I know.
With loads of people following me, and I shouted, Bovey! at the top. No, I'm not going mad, just, you know, once every other day. But I'm struggling now. I woke up today and it's like I'd been hit by a car. Yeah. Just everything aches, so the muscles you haven't used. But, anyway, I had a meeting, the first time with the people, the program makers, because they're following me for a month and everything, and Grant as well. And they said, you need a sort of nickname, just for a laugh. And I went, oh, what's Grant using? They said, oh, I think he's gonna use Gorgeous Grant Bovey, or Grant. I went, oh, I don't know, so I better go against that. What about, Ricky Gervais? Yeah. Right? Yeah. And, yeah, so, anyway, I had a meeting with Frank Maloney, meeting the next day, and, it's sort of like, you know, you've got to do this nickname. And the bloke said, oh, I checked out that name, you can't call yourself Jippo. I went, well, of course I can't, I was joking. He went, well, I said, well, it's racist, I was joking, I was making a joke about me, and he went, oh, I don't know. And then, I went down to get the, buy all the gear from this shop.
They'd have the dressing game made?
Yeah. And I was picking all the stuff, I was going, oh, look, that's like Naz wore. Oh, look, that's like Ali wore in the... And I'm going, I'll have that, picking all the gear and everything. And, there was a couple of boxers down there, sort of like looking at me, thinking, who's that fat bloke taking up boxing at 40? And, I said who I was, and the bloke went, oh yeah, how you doing? I went, oh yeah, so how long have you been in the game? He said, I've been boxing 20 years. So how many fights you had? He said, about 40. I said, oh yeah, help me, I've got to think of a nickname. And I thought, Ricky Balboa Gervais. He went, right. I went, or Ricky Marciano Gervais. He looked at me and went, what about Ricky Martin? Oh dear.
Absolutely justified.
Yeah, I'm not respected yet in the boxing world.
No, sure.
But I mean,
it's only a matter of time. Once
I think they're going to go
see you fight, Rick. Everything's gonna change. So, have you actually punched anyone yet? Have you actually?
No, I've punched I punched pads, and I punched the bag, and I've sort of sparred and that.
I know you're gonna get a chance to punch someone.
Well, as I suspected, my punching power's alright, but my fitness is, I mean, it felt like I was smoking. Yeah. You know, but there's, you know, bits of lung that haven't had oxygen in them for 20 years. Yeah. And it's ridiculous. And also because it's not only it's being filmed, but there's other fighters there that are ridiculous. They're like machines, right? And it's that thing, I can go, right, I can come out on top, but die now of a heart attack, but never give up. Or I can sit down and go, I'm sorry, I feel ill. And I chose that one, and of course they took the mick.
Well, of course.
But I mean, you know, soon, you know, as I said, I haven't got the respect yet of the boxing fraternity, but
how long have you got then before?
4 weeks.
Okay, so, and do they think that they can turn you around health-wise in that time?
No, they're going to be coming out on a Zimmer frame. No, they're going to, you know, they're going to teach me the basics and see how it goes, you know. Right. But I mean, you know,
and each round is 4 seconds, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, 2 4-second rounds.
with a 2-hour break in between each one. Sit down meal.
So, give the number. I want serious suggestions of my fighting name. Nothing insulting. Something we can actually use.
Well, let's give out the email. That's always the easiest. Ricky.gervais at xfm.co.uk. What's the number, Karl?
08700 800 1234.
And it doesn't have to be in the middle, it could be at the beginning, like, The Rage.
Okay.
Ricky the Rage.
Ricky the Tits.
Yeah, sure. Ricky the Man, play a record. Big
It was a
favourite
good
of
day,
ours.
yeah. Ice Cube talks to me about my life in the pub.
yeah.
A couple of emails are already coming in. Rush. They're flooding in, Rick, inevitably, as boxing name suggestions for you. This is one from Matt, I think. He's given a couple, actually. Ricky the Pudding Gervais. Ricky Big Mac Gervais. There's a theme here. Ricky Pasty Gervais. The pasty. I quite like the pasty. Here comes the pasty.
As Karl said, he said the thing is, if you have a really good nickname, it's embarrassing when you lose, whereas if you just call yourself, it's not so embarrassing when you lose. Karl, this is doing no good for my ego.
Do you know what I mean? If you have, like, Killer Gervais.
Yeah, and then you end up, like, vomiting, choking on your own vomit upside down, hanging out the ring.
What happens if you win? Do you have to do something
Whereas
proper?
there goes the pasty being stretchered off in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not such a problem.
There he is, being lightly basted. And chucked down a mine. What do you mean, what do I have to do?
Say if you beat Grant, say.
Yeah.
Say if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What happens next?
What do you mean, what happens next? What? Do you think, this is a contention fight for the big one?
But do they...
yeah.
Well, then we make Ricky 2.
No, but, you know, do you know if they're planning on making more money? Because it's for comic relief, isn't it? So what happens on the night?
No, it's for a charity of our
Comic
choice.
relief would make sense.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Whatever, right.
Yeah, it was last time. I think that was last time.
Is it sport relief? It's not sports
It was
relief.
last time,
right.
yeah, but I think this is a programme where
And how do you make money for charity from this? Do we pay to sort of, for how many punches to the head you're gonna take? Or
No, I just
how
think
long you're gonna last?
I assume the BBC donate money, or someone, or a sponsor or whatever, so I don't know, just donate, because it's actually a programme. This is more about a programme with a charity angle. So, yeah.
So as if you get, like, killed, there's more money and food to go around. Maybe. But no, I mean, the thing is, what's the next step? Because if they go like, right, yeah, well done, you've won, thank you very much.
Karl, what do you expect? That its winner stays on?
Yeah.
Like in a fair, where I go out there and I let people punch me in the...
Bernard Manning.
Yeah. And then my twin gets up.
Yeah.
It's just it's a programme.
He's not gonna turn pro.
It's like faking it.
Yeah, but what's the point if it's not going to go anywhere?
Well, look,
Sorry, him fighting Grant Bovey in a ring is not entertainment enough.
yeah, what's the matter with you, Karl?
Man's gonna get his face pummeled in. That's gonna be hilarious.
Right, when I did boxing at the youth club.
Once, when he did boxing, he fought a little weak kid, because it was his first day, battered him. Next week, it was someone else's turn, and he got battered and he left.
Yeah, I said, right, I've had enough. But there was
Yeah.
there was a ladder there that I had to work, right? And I decided after the sort of the first step, I thought, it's not for me, this.
Yeah.
But if you win, it's all kind of like, right, well...
Yeah, the world's
There you
your
go.
oyster.
But it's a programme. It's just a one-off programme, isn't it? It's like, it is like, you gotta treat it like faking it.
Yeah, but faking it, right? That little gay fella who ended up being a doorman, he's actually doing that as a proper job now or something. He loved it so much.
Do you seriously think I have any intentions of getting into the fight game and leaving entertainment
Well,
behind?
what's the point then?
What do you mean? What's the point in watching television? It's entertainment.
Or educational? I watch it to sort of soak in
Well,
information.
this is educational. I'm learning a lot. I'm actually learning a lot, and I can't believe my luck. I've got professionals telling me, you know, hopefully how to lose weight and punch hard. That's just fun. It's like having golf lessons.
Right, but say, I mean, here's an example.
Go on.
It's a nice way to plug it. We've got Rockbusters coming up in about 10 minutes or something, right? Now,
Look forward to that.
people email in, and they don't just do it for fun. They do it because they know they've got some good prizes lined up.
Right.
So they're doing it because it gets them something.
Yeah, my prize is that I've learnt something in life. I've gone through an experience, and hopefully I'll come out in some way better if I don't get mashed. That's it. That's the prize. That's why we do anything, isn't it?
I think this is example of you, Karl, is that you give up too easily.
Yeah,
you know,
and
you took up the boxing, you gave that up straight away.
You think there's no point in anything?
I did Crusaders for I think I lasted that out for about 4 weeks.
What's
that?
Crusaders?
Well, it was my mate, right? He was religious. And I'm not really. But
No, I mean, you believe in ghosts, though, and shadows pushing people off bikes. But go on.
But it's the same time, I think I told you once before that I went to the church with this lad because I swore and he said he was going to tell me dad.
Yeah.
I was effing and jeffing. So he said, if you come
Is that how they get people to church nowadays?
I love that one kid that he hasn't got the idea of the protection game. There's nothing in it for him. Either you turn to religion or I tell your father.
Right, so I went to church with him and that, and then the next week he said, I know that was rubbish and you didn't enjoy it. It's when I got kicked out for messing with a tennis ball in the pews, right?
I don't think we've heard that, but I don't think we could possibly go into that now.
Summed it up.
Yeah.
So,
well, no,
come on, we'll come back to that. You had a tennis ball and some pubes.
No, in the pews.
In the pews, right. Yeah. But anyway, so I went there and I said, I don't think much of this church thing, it's a bit boring.
Sorry, and so you went to church and you ended up in the Crusades?
No, it's called the Crusaders. What it is, it's meant to be the fun part of religion for kids. Right. And my mate said, oh, you want to come along? It's, you go on a Friday night and do it on a Sunday as well. Right, so I went on the Friday night, it was brilliant. They had Sabutio, played table tennis in this dead big old house.
And what do they do at the end? Say, I hope you enjoy yourself. Remember God gave you all this.
Well, it's sort of, enjoy the simple things in life. You don't need computer games, you can play table tennis and that, and talk with your friends.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. I thought, yeah, that's alright.
I think you'd be happy in a young offenders institution. You get to clean the toilets there.
But don't forget, Karl, I think God invented Nintendo too.
Right. Well, anyway, so that was alright. I loved it on the Friday.
Yeah.
And my mate said if you go for 4 weeks in a row without missing a day.
Yeah.
You get a free badge,
and salvation.
I don't like all this sort of being stuck in stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's
I don't get tied down.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, every day.
Yeah.
Right, so, anyway, so you've got to come again on Sunday, so I thought, well, we'll have another game of table tennis, it'll be alright.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go on the Sunday.
Who was this servant of God?
Right. I go on the Sunday, it's like a totally different club, there's no table tennis.
That's how they trick you.
No Sabutio.
Yeah.
They start handing out Bibles.
Oh. It's like a timeshare thing.
Hang on a minute, right?
They trick you.
So I didn't go again on Sundays. I used to just go on the Friday.
Just go on the Friday. Brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah. I'm amazed no one else saw through that.
Well, the thing is, there used to be loads there on the Friday, so they won't even notice that I'm not, like...
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That I'm not showing up on a Sunday. So anyway, carried on. It was
just this kid in the vicar.
Oh, I love that. You got one over on the church.
So I was loving it, right? Playing table tennis and that. Yeah, and then on a Sunday... They found out where I live, and the head fella started coming round, knocking on the door.
God!
He's everywhere, Rick.
Why did he knock?
The fella...
Politeness.
The fella who, ran the club, he started coming round, knocking on the door. And I saw him coming up the path, and I said to my mum, oh, it's the fella from the Crusaders. Yeah. She didn't even know what I was...
No.
She
thought you were off nicking hubcaps and stealing cars.
She didn't have a clue what I was talking about.
You've been going to church!
You've been going to church? I don't believe it!
Little bleeder.
That's not how we brought you up!
So, I said, look, just tell him I'm not in, tell him I'm not in. And she had to keep doing this, and they were coming round every Sunday to try and make me, go on a Sunday. It was really important that I went, and that I was abusing the system and all this. Anyway, I didn't go, and then...
Why didn't they just tell you on next time you turned up on a Friday?
Yeah.
No, well, because there was so many people there on a Friday, you just get mixed in the crowd.
Yeah.
Right? It was jammed. It was well popular on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway, on one of the Sundays, it was quiet for a bit, and, they stopped coming round. So I thought, right, I can go out again, right, on a Sunday, because I used to avoid hanging around the house in case...
What sort of reign of terror is this?
Incredible.
Right. So I thought,
right... It's like the Spanish Inquisition.
So I thought, great, they forgot about me.
Yeah.
Everything, I can carry on in sort of normal life now.
Yeah.
And I was playing out in the avenue. Fella comes round.
Oh.
And he goes, there you are. You're always busy on a Sunday. You enjoy Fridays and that, don't you? I was like, yeah. He goes, well, come on, you've got to come with me. And I couldn't get out of it. No. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what could I say?
Charlie says.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, he nearly killed me in a car crash. So that was the excuse I used next time. He had a Mini, right? And he was driving us there, and he hit the curb, nearly sort of turned over the Mini. Right? There was like 3 of us in the back. So, I said...
Is that a record?
So... Next time, he came round to pick us up, I said, look, really enjoyed it and that. I said, but ever since that journey, I really, I don't want to get in the car with you again, because it scared me a bit. And I said, all right then, I didn't have to go again.
That's all right, isn't it?
That's extraordinary. Yeah. He almost killed you in a car crash.
It's a parable. Thank God no one was hurt.
Yeah.
I remember that...
Your life moves in incredible ways.
Yeah.
Rather like God.
Yeah. So they're probably round there now, aren't they? Going, is he coming tomorrow? What we got?
Well, are we talking about the prizes next?
Well, let's talk about the prizes. We've got the big game Rockbusters coming your way soon, Rick. I know you're excited about that. And is there more Educating Ricky this week? Have you got that planned?
There is. We are struggling on that feature a bit now, because I feel like we've covered a lot of topics.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know about hairy Chinese kids and deaf people that hit their head and can hear again. Sure. So I don't think there's lots more to learn in life. And the amazing Karl Pilkington. Right, prizes.
Yes.
List them.
Rockbusters.
Yeah.
It's, one of the big exciting quiz shows, and this may be one of your last chances to play. There's rumours that it's gonna get ditched, Rick. Rumours that Karl Pilkington, the creator and mastermind behind it, has already grown tired of it. It's off and the way. You heard them earlier on, the very best of the Stone Roses. From that, we played, I Want to Be Adored. That's one of the prizes. That's a nice little, Christmas compilation.
Second hand now then, really, isn't it?
Second hand, yeah. 50 years of the greatest hit singles. I'll tell you, there's some great stuff on here. Opens, Rick, with, Bohemian Rhapsody.
One of the biggest, number ones of all time.
If you've not heard that enough already, you're followed then by, John Lennon's Imagine. Candle in the Wind, Elton John. You've got,
all on one CD, Stephen.
Well,
these are some of the greatest rock minds.
They've chosen some of the best songs by some of the best artists.
Go on.
Paul McCartney's Mull of Kintyre. That's on there. We've got, let me see.
That is pretty impressive though, because they are real big classic number ones, as opposed to, you know, the song by the artist they didn't really care about. You see those things on, this is not available in the shops, and it's, you know, the second best song artists have done.
It seems odd that we're giving it away on XFM, because it includes, Robbie Williams' Angels, Atomic Kitten's Whole Again, Spice Girls Wannabe, Kylie Minogue's, Can't Get You Out of the Head, and I think it closes, well, it almost closes with Steps Tragedy. That's the penultimate track. It ends though, any ideas? Big hit single. Did they know it's Christmas, Band-Aid? Perfect for your Christmas party, I'd have thought that.
Sure.
We've also got the Groove Armada current album, is that from them? And signed by the man himself, the Big Beach Boutique DVD, Fatboy Slim's concert on that Brighton beach, and there's all kinds of treats on there, and includes an audio commentary by Norman Cook. I don't know how that works. 3 hours of him going, this is where the needle almost jumps. Watch out for this. I did a little bit of scratching. I'm not very good at scratching, but just look forward to that.
I'm putting a different track. You'll see me there. There's the crowd loving it.
Here's me. I'm just waiting. This is where I go from Conga Squad to Basement Jacks.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
That's one of mine. I'll pop on what you see there. I've got Praise You ready.
Yeah, I just got that. That was slightly dusty. I just had to wipe that down with a damp rag.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. Plus, I suppose this is good if you're a fan. This is a box set of the first series of Linda Green. I think a new series starts this week, or has already started. I'll tell you what I found when I was clearing up, Rick, because I know it's not a big movie this week. We normally give away a big movie. I was moving house this week, and I found a video that you're more than welcome to if you're a fan. No, it stars Kurt Russell. Executive Decision. I've got that to give away if you're interested. Executive Decision with Steven Seagal in a cameo as well. So I think it's on TV this week, Rick. So if you miss it this coming Friday, you don't tape it this Friday. Well, here it is on video.
Bring it in, because I think Karl's excited about that. I think Karl would like to win that, wouldn't you?
Great prizes there.
How about if you come up with an extra Rockbusters today? For the bonus prize.
I don't think I'm the man for the job, Karl. I think it has to come from your unique take on the world.
Karl, I don't think you've quite worked out why you're funny. And why things you do are good. Go on then.
Right, you ready then? So, just in case, you haven't heard it before, I'll give you some initials of a band or an artist.
We're not doing Rockbusters now, are we?
Yeah, I thought, well, we've just...
Oh, then we keep that going, then we got... Well, I love Educating Ricky, that's my favourite thing now.
Well, what do you want to do, Steve? I mean,
let's hear the clues.
It's just like it's sort of bigged up the prizes.
And so this is only by email. Give the email address out now, for people to write it down now, Karl.
Right, it's ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Only entries on email. Yeah. You're gonna get 3 clues. You've got to get them all right.
And you win all the stuff.
You win all those prizes we just said. Okay, Karl, go on then.
Right, and just a quick example, one of the first ones we did, it was like AK, and the clue was Exploding Pet. Yeah. And it was Atomic Kitten, right? Yeah. So you understand how it works now. These are your clues. The first one, that army has got some nice trenches.
That army has got some nice trenches. Excellent.
Yeah. And the initials there are DW.
Do you write some of the questions for 15 to 1?
Go on.
So that army has got some
similar phrasing.
Trenches, okay.
Okay.
The second one,
what were the initials there, Karl, on that person?
DW.
DW.
Yeah. Right, the second one, the top of them curtains are all wrecked. All the materials all worn.
He acts it out, though. We've got to get him on telly. We have got to get him on telly, because his little face and his gestures...
That's the second one, the initials being HV, okay? The top of those curtains are wrecked. All the material's all worn out, right? HV. And the final one, here's the final clue. I was in Texas the other week, right? I tripped and landed on my knees in a puddle.
What's the
initials? WH for that one. So I was in Texas, I tripped up, landed on my knees in a puddle. So that's WH.
Incredible.
I've got it!
Is it great?
It's fantastic! It doesn't work!
Okay, time of drawing the record, time of drawing the record. Remember, you're playing for these compilation albums. We've got the Fatboy Slim DVD, Linda Green on VHS, and of course, Executive Decision, starring Kurt Russell as well.
Oh, God! Bob Dylan. Just Like a Woman on XFM 104.9.
Couple more names, boxing nicknames for you, Rick. I think this is from Josh. Ricky Blue Eyes, I quite like. And he's also put Toad Rage. which I quite like. I'll tell you, our number one fan has emailed again, I'm pleased to announce.
Who?
Richard Anderson, Dickie Anderson. He was in touch last week.
Back.
He
loves this show.
He's such a fan of the show. And this week he's emailed in, what actually is the point of your show? Is it to confuse, irritate, depress, or what? All of those things, Dickie. Thanks for noticing.
Oh, he loves this show.
He's such a fan. He's such a fan.
He's
Because last week, you remember, Karl, he emailed in to say that he'd rather spend his time counting his feet than listen to this show. Presumably he's done that. Yeah. And he's decided to email in.
Wonder how many feet.
Incredible. Yeah.
No, but he loves this show.
Good, yeah. So, thanks, R.A. Thanks for listening.
See you later. Missy Elliott. Work it on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Educating Ricky?
Yeah.
Should I do a bit of that?
Well, the clues are coming in furious.
The answers, I should say. Yeah.
So go on in. Oh, this is what.
Yeah, Rockbusters is well underway, Karl. Don't worry, you've done your work there.
Okay.
Right, come on.
Right, educating Ricky.
This is my favourite bit now.
You're just going to tease us, aren't you, with 3 headlines, if you
No, I'm going to choose one, then we got the other 2 as well.
Yeah, that's the way it works, and at the end of it, you learn some stuff. Like I say, I'm struggling a bit with knowledge.
Yeah.
At last he confesses.
Yeah, go on.
So the 3 headlines for you to pick from, we've got, first one, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
I got a feeling there's some vegetables involved.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe. Second one, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Okay.
Right.
And, third one, I'll bacon in the morning, if you're sick of having me here.
Oh, that one.
I'll bacon in the morning, if you're sick of having me here.
Right, I'm having that one.
That's brilliant.
Right, well, it's a saying. Do you know, cold shoulder? Giving someone the cold shoulder?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright, if you have someone round at your house, and, you know, you try to get rid of them, and they're hanging around and stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish they'd go, I'm tired and that. Well, years ago...
when? Literally years ago. Well, ages ago.
Sort of,
olden times.
I think it said medieval times.
Yonks ago, then. Yonks ago.
Yeah, medieval,
We're going back quite a bit on this one.
You know when you find out these books, why don't you just pop down when it was?
Just make a note.
I don't think it says all the time. It just sort of says, you know, a few years back.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Well,
never.
Alright, I'll make an effort next week.
Okay.
Right? So, it's annoying that, because my girlfriend said to me, just make a note at the time and they'll stop having a go at you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And I kind of thought, it's alright.
Didn't listen?
I don't think it matters anyway in this one. We're looking at the saying, right? So it's giving someone a cold shoulder, right? And what it is, right, ages ago, there wasn't enough houses for people.
Right.
Because there wasn't much money being made, you know, there weren't big businesses, people weren't earning good money like they are now. So there wasn't as many houses, right? So what you ended up getting is like, you know, the rich people having a nice place to live.
Oh.
And the poor people were like wandering about, you know, looking for places to live and that. And what they ended up doing is, they had like, people would go round to the mate's house and say, look, I haven't got anywhere to live. It's a bit cold, can you let me stay? Right? So they'd go, oh, alright, then you can stay a couple of days. But they ended up staying for like weeks.
Yeah.
Right? So, to sort of get rid of them, what they'd end up doing, they'd be making the dinner, and they'd be making a lovely dinner, like a bit of meat, nice warm meat, and nice veg, gravy. And
This happened every time, did it? This is where the saying came from.
This is what happened, Rick. This is what happened
every time.
It was in that vague book.
The book of vague sayings and stuff.
Right, so they'd be making a nice meal, but what they did, they looked after all the family. Well, the person who won't go home, they just give them some, like, sort of a cut-off of cold meat.
Right.
So they'd say, you're giving them the cold shoulder. Meaning...
Right. Okay, that's rubbish. Okay, absolute...
Karl, why would that necessarily work?
Yeah. Why do they always, in every situation when you want to get rid of a lodger, well, still feed him every day, but make the meat lukewarm. So
they always leave then.
Yeah.
Oh, this food's lukewarm, I'm gonna become homeless
and
again,
they go,
wandering the streets.
Hold on, are you giving me the cold shoulder? Yes. Do you want me to leave? Yes, just say leaving. No, I like to do it cryptically. That way, in years to come, someone will have a little saying about it.
Well, anyway, that was our bacon in the morning. If you've had enough of meat, we'll leave that.
Well,
bacon in the morning! Oh, bacon in the morning if you've had enough of me!
So come back. What are the others? Just tease us again with the others. We'll come back to those.
He's a bit of a nuisance. And, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Nice, looking forward to that. Nirvana, in their version of the man who sold the world, the David Bowie tune. It's
Good tune.
Taken from that new Nirvana compilation.
I like that version, I like the David Bowie version.
You can't decide, can you, Rick? You're torn.
In fact, I like the Lulu version as well.
Is there a Lulu version?
Maybe we should play that one week. Yeah.
Was this recorded, what, in the 70s?
I think she recorded it about the same time as David Bowie. I don't know if he released it as a single. I think it was just on off the album.
Interesting.
Karl is studying. Okay, what's the next one? What's the Educating Ricky?
I don't know, see, like I say, I was looking around and there's stuff that is interesting, right? I was looking on the web.
But there's no point.
Well, it's just that I found one about,
what's the point?
About a lad who, 8 years old, but he's still breastfed. Now, I don't know if you can get anything out of that.
Is that what his mum said? What do you mean I don't know if I can get anything out of that? You don't need to.
No, it's just that, you know...
Where did you read that?
That was on the internet.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're always unspecific when you mention it. It's just it was on the internet.
Well, I'm trying to think what I put in. I think I put in Y to see if I'd confuse the computer.
Go! You are...
No, I did
honestly.
I did a search, put in Y, and it came up with funny things that, like, why is this person doing that? Why is that? And it had a picture of this 8-year-old lad, sort of, you know, on his mum's nipple. And, it was saying, you know, is this healthy?
You sure that wasn't asking you that question?
What? I put in Y just to confuse the computer. Like, the computer go, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Oh, look, last week, I was walking, home with him, and I went, he was saying something stupid, and I went, I've got a competition for next week. Let's do a phone-in, and it's called Karl Pilkington, Genius or Fool.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, No. I went, why not? He went, well, it'd be confusing, because they say there's no difference between genius and being a fool.
You do that, don't you?
No, but it's rubbish, and people say there's a fine line between madness and genius, and, you know, it's a ridiculous soundbite. They don't say there's a fine line between a genius and an idiot.
Well, the people who do are idiots.
Yeah.
So what would you do there, though, just to sort of wrap that little thing up? What would you do? That lad loves his mum's milk.
What are you asking me to come up with?
No, I'm just...
A title for the story?
No, it's just what would you do? Right.
What do you mean, what would I do?
Well, it's causing a bit of a problem in the area, right?
What area?
In America, I think it was.
Oh, America are a problem, are they? George Bush is worried about this kid who's breastfeeding at 8.
Imagine it like this, right?
Right. No, so, Karl, what are you asking me? About this spurious story you saw on the internet?
I saw it on the internet. There's an 8-year-old lad, he likes his mum's milk.
Yeah.
And it's saying, is this right? Should it?
No, it's not. On? But what do
you want Ricky to do about it? It's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
No, but the little town that he lives in, they're all causing an uproar, right? Going, this isn't right. You know, I can't let my kid play out in case he's in the garden with his mum getting a bit hungry, right? So,
God.
What should they do? Because his mum's saying, well, he likes it.
Yeah.
And he, you know... So what do you do?
I don't know the laws.
No, but I'm not asking you to sort out the laws. I'm just saying, if you lived in that neighbourhood, what would you say? If you went up to him and said, look, everyone's getting a bit fed up with this, look.
I'd say, what would I do? What do you mean, what would I do? What are you asking me?
Right, it doesn't matter.
No, what are you asking me? What are you asking me and Steve and the public?
I'm just saying, say if you live next door to this woman.
Yeah.
Right? The kid's hungry, 8 years old, he's out playing on his bike and he goes, Mum, I'm getting a bit peckish, and he goes, alright, son. She whops one out. And he starts having his milk, right? You live next door, you're putting your washing out, and you see this going on. You're getting a bit sick of it, because it's gone on for months.
8 years, I assume.
Why is it your business? Why are you such a nosy neighbour that you're concerned?
What would you do, Karl? Let's turn it back on him.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What's your solution?
What would you do?
Well, I thought I'd say, right, why are you doing this? And she'd say, because he likes it. And I go, alright then, put it in a bowl first.
And you think that would sort that out?
No, because I was thinking about the whole thing, right, and you do that when you're a baby, and everything's alright, innit?
Yeah.
No one bats an eyelid at a little baby having a bit of milk from its mum's breast, right?
Yeah.
You'd almost say it was natural.
But you grow out of it. It's like, you don't see. It got me thinking about things you don't see. And you don't see...
Did you put this into a computer? Show me things you don't see.
What else don't you see?
Well, you don't see, like, an old man having a Twix. You never... So what?
You know the terrible thing about all this, Steve, is he's right.
You don't see an old man
I
eating a
know,
Twix.
that's a terrible thing.
So what they have got, right, they've made old man toffees, haven't they? They've come up with burgers.
Is that a song? Oh God! You don't see it.
No, listen now. So they've got their Werthers, right?
Yeah.
So
look at him! You think he's giving a lecture at Oxford?
It's not going anywhere.
No, go on, sorry. Go on.
I'm just saying,
right.
You grow out of things.
Yeah.
And the old man, I'm sure when he was a kid, he'd have a Twix.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't look right, so he's having...
It doesn't look right!
So...
Right.
I don't think Werther's originals were specially designed for old people. I think they were sweets that just happened to have been made for years. That's why old people eat them.
Yeah.
They didn't go, hang on, there's a market here. I've noticed old people aren't eating Twixes. Quick, let's make some old man sweets.
But the little advert, he gives it to his grandson as well, doesn't he? He goes, I have a Werther's original.
Oh, I think it cuts though before he throws it back in his face and goes, get me a Twix. And a damn curly-whirly, Grandad. You old...
High voltage on XFM, 104.9. Sums up the show. Danger, high voltage. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Urchin, and the amazing Karl Pilkington. So, other things you don't see, Karl? Got any other ones, or you obviously been thinking about this? What confuses you? When you look out your window, what confuses you with the world? What do you walk around going, oh, that's a bit weird? I remember, when you were in, Edinburgh, you were confused because you saw someone putting a parking ticket on some rubbish, which confused you.
Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah.
The world's a crazy place, isn't it? I mean, whatever you look at, you can... Do you know what I mean?
Like what? Like what?
Oh, anything. I mean, you could look out the window there and you'll see something, you go, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
What are they doing that for?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, maybe we should bring back White Van Karl. There's some interesting questions this week, Rick.
Yeah.
We could pull that out of the bag if you're interested.
Shall we do that?
Just, get, Karl's take on, the world's...
Let's do it, let's do it.
I'll tell you what, we'll do that in a second. Let's have another Educating Ricky, because I think you got sidetracked with your talk of...
Well, just the other thing on things you don't see. Look at the way when I went to school, there was 2 kids with them big heads. Now...
You don't
never see them.
Sure.
Yeah, but no one else saw them anyway, Karl. It was only you that saw 2 of them, not related, and wouldn't hang around with each other, because you think they thought it would be too obvious. Webbed fingers and big heads. That's amazing.
And there was a kid with a pigeon chest, so...
Oh yeah, and the lady with the head like a bag of spuds.
Let's not go through these again. It just raises too many questions that can't be answered.
Yeah.
Right then, so, we've got, we'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Yeah, go on.
Is that the one you want?
Let's go for it.
Right, I think this was like round the 1700s.
Bluffing.
And...
Just bluffing.
Who was the king then?
Dunno.
Go on.
But it's about the word bonfire. right?
Bonfire. Yeah.
Do you know where it comes from?
No, go on.
No.
Right, what happened is it's got nothing to do with Guy Fawkes and that, which is what I thought when I saw it. It's got nothing to do with that. But ages ago, at 1700s,
Yeah.
right, didn't have enough houses, like I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if that happens, you get people living on the streets, you get
Sure.
diseases, people aren't cleaning properly, so you get more deaths. Alright?
Yeah.
So, think about it, you've got all these dead bodies lying around, they're running out of space, because there's, like, I don't know why they're running out of space, but
Okay.
they haven't got much, I don't know why, really. I was gonna say they should have just buried them, but there's probably more land back then than now. Think about it.
He doesn't need anyone else in the room to have a
conversation with himself.
Yeah, we could leave and we'd come back and you go, I've sorted it. Yeah,
But anyway, for some reason,
They presumably, if it's going to be they burnt them, it's presumably to do that it also kills the parasite or whatever's carrying the parasite on them, as opposed to burying them and not killing the disease.
well, yeah. So there you go. You've worked it out. They piled them up and they turned it into a celebration because there was a lot of fed up people at that time.
Is this to be the word bon, meaning good?
No. I'll tell you in a minute.
Go on.
So you've got all these people who are like going around and like, oh, you know, so and so died the other day, and you know, nearly every week someone they knew was dying.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like just constant like being depressed. So and they've got all these bodies lying everywhere. It's like, oh god, what are we gonna do? So they said, we're all too fed up at the moment. Said let's make this a better world.
This was 1701 by the time they got together.
Yeah.
So they said, what we need to do is have a big party. So they said, yeah.
Good thinking.
See what you're thinking. So they go, right, well, we'll put all the bodies
Yeah.
in a big pile, and they're all diseased and that. So
Yeah.
they set fire to the bodies,
Yeah.
and they said, let's have this as a celebration to remember them by, and you know, we'll have a drink and that, and have a chat. We'll have this big fire going, and it came from bone fire.
Ah.
Right.
So
Bone
it was
fire.
it was all the bones. Bonfire is bone fire.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So that's how it came about.
Yeah. In the 1700s.
Yeah.
That was.
No, probably.
Okay.
I reckon it was 1600.
Probably earlier.
I reckon it was the plague. I reckon it came from.
But interesting stuff. Interesting.
Yeah. So
stuff.
that's
Did you celebrate Bonfire Night? Is that a big celebration for you? Do you like the fireworks? I'm sick of fireworks. I just think they're rubbish.
Yeah,
fireworks.
I'm not impressed.
I've never been impressed by fireworks. Even
No.
as a kid, you know, you'd have to go to like sort of community kind of gatherings with a bonfire and fireworks, and like,
Yeah.
some local vicar or whatever would come out and.
But I
it
also
was
think the
just
adults think the
tedious.
kids love it,
Yeah.
and if they just got together and said, should we go this year? They'd all go, no.
Yeah,
let's not
absolutely.
Go. Let's not go this year.
What would be better is if the vicar had wheeled out like a massive rocket,
Yeah.
climbed in,
Yeah.
gone last one to the moon as a bender, and then fired himself off. Now that, I'd pay to see. That's a fireworks display I'd like to see. As it is, it's just rubbish.
dear.
yeah.
Is
That's
that your feeling,
excellent.
Karl?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not keen.
No.
Sorry, what clue was that?
We'll have a big fire tomorrow.
Bone marrow. Bone marrow. It's genius. Let's play the record.
Oh, God! Right, what's this? Go on. What, tell them, go on, just get on with it, because I just can't believe what you just said.
What we're doing? Are we final one?
Yeah.
Right, the last one. Like I said.
No. Say the record. Say the record you played. Go on.
This is free association.
Yeah, brilliant,
I wish I would not.
Yeah, and what did you just say to me just before this was ending? He just looked over at me and went, are there any animals without a brain?
No, but hang on a minute.
No, right. And I went, yeah, there's animals that he went, I was gonna talk about this, but it's sad. There's a lad born without a brain, and he laughs a lot, and his hearing and his sight's okay. I'll go, well, that's impossible. If he's without a brain, all that is impossible. And he went, well, it was in the magazine.
No, it was in a book that somebody sent.
Right.
And I didn't want to bring it up because it is a bit sad, really. That this, young lad, there's a picture of him sat there with his mum, and,
What? Carl!
well,
Carl!
I forget it.
It's impossible.
Well,
There must have been more to the story,
He
Karl.
can't not have a brain. Hearing and sight is a concept within the brain. That's all it is, right?
yeah.
The ears are just receptacles. They're
know.
just, yeah. So,
But that's why it was in this book. It was a book of mysteries.
Karl, you know, if you're reading a book and you see a photo and you guess at what you think the story might be, that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it fact.
I looked at it because I thought he looks like an happy lad.
Sure.
And I read about it and I thought, That's weird. Like you've said, the fact that he hasn't got a brain but he can see and he can hear.
No! Impossible!
Well,
Impossible.
okay.
Go on. I don't know who to believe. Listen, we haven't done it for a while. White Van Man. I thought there's some interesting questions raised today, and I think it might be nice to just throw them Carl.
I think we've set Karl up again in the last hour as a person that people want to know his opinions on the world.
If you're not familiar with it, on Saturdays the Sun newspaper asks a typical white van driver questions his opinions on the week's news, and we thought we'd throw these in the direction of Karl. And then what do you make of this teenage thug, Karl, Mickey Carroll, who spent 4 months in jail and he's won 9.7 million on the lottery? Is that justice? When you think of all the good people that are going hungry? And there's a lad there and he's won.
Did he buy the ticket before he went in?
No, I think he bought it once he'd come out.
So he's done his time.
He's done his time.
Fair enough then, he's been punished.
Yeah.
Right? He's bought a ticket. He's had a lot of bad luck. Now he's having a bit of good luck.
Right, next one.
Are you concerned that now he's got all that money he could turn into like a sort of mastermind villain? You know, like a James Bond style villain? He's got a criminal streak, we know that. Is that a concern for you? I mean, imagine that he could build some kind of underwater fortress.
We don't, with my lawyer's hat on, we don't know that.
Yeah, well. Well, he'd have to prove that he didn't have a criminal streak. I'd say you've been in jail for 4 months.
Yeah, but sometimes people are bad because they haven't got any money, so he might be an angel of gold now, or whatever the saying is.
1 in 5 children aged between 11 and 16 go on booze binge sessions at least once a week. That's terrifying news, isn't it?
Kids, they know too much now.
Yeah.
You despair.
No, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this one, right?
Go on.
My dad had me niece in the car, right, running her to school one day, and she was in the back of the car with a mate, and they were chatting away about stuff like kids do. And he got onto the topic of one of the mates, who he said, I mean, you've got to remember, niece, this point, was probably about 5 or 6, something like that, right? In the back of the car, talking about My Little Pony, whatever it is they play with. Subject changed. Oh, that Lisa in our class, she's a lesbian, isn't she?
Right.
That's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Chatting away about it.
Just openly talking about lesbianism.
And probably, you know, this is the topic that they're talking about in the pub when they're having one. Out drinking.
Yeah, but they might have thought a lesbian was a funny word or something. You don't necessarily know the ins and outs of it, do they?
It's weird though, isn't it? Because when I was younger at school, you didn't you swore a little bit, but it wasn't like major swear words, and you sort of did a little bit of nicking, but nothing like they get up to now. I mean,
my girlfriend, when she was about 7 or 8, she was walking to school with her mum, and she called her a C-U-N. Right?
You are joking.
No, she said, because she thought it was she said she thought it was a big furry animal. So she was being nice, and I remember, where'd you do that? Where'd you do that? Like, just heard it at school. So they might not know what it means.
Well, I tell you, I'm gonna have to use kind of euphemisms here to tell this story, but when I was at school, I learned, the stronger version, it's not the same word, but it's very similar with one letter changed. I'm gonna use twit.
Yeah.
You know the word I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna use the word twit to replace it, right? And I went round...
You think they're twat?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. And, so can I say it? Am I allowed to say it?
No, it's weird though, because some people from Cornwall use that like saying twit. So, if people listen in Cornwall...
a twit is a pregnant goldfish?
Well...
Well, I learned the stronger version of twit.
Yeah.
Twat. For those that aren't sure. I learned this at school when I was like 10 or whatever, and I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was just a stronger version of twit. Yeah. I thought it was just if you were really annoyed with someone because they were a real twit.
Because I is worse than I.
Exactly, apparently. So, Karl would be a twit. And so I started using this at home, because I didn't realise what it meant. I started using this at home, oh, you twit, you're a twit, and saying it to my dad, you're a twit, but not saying twit. Yeah. And my dad didn't know what it meant either.
That's great!
Which I couldn't believe. So he started using it as well, right? So then we'd be driving in the car, he'd be saying to my mum, you stupid twit. Say to my mum, you don't pull over, you're gonna bum it, you twat. Saying this. Then I learned at school from Mark Johnson what it really meant.
Yeah.
Stopped using it, obviously finding out it was quite an offensive word.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up to my dad. I didn't want to sit my dad down and say, Dad, you know that word we've been saying? Yeah. You know what it means? So now, to this day, I've never brought it out with him. So we'll be driving, I go home for Christmas, we'll be driving around, he'll be calling my mum that word. Left, right and centre. I think she knows. I think she's just embarrassed. Or she's just upset, and she knows what I mean. She goes, why does he keep calling me this terrible word? But he's the only one, I think, in our family who doesn't know what it means. No one's got the guts to say, I don't know whether I should tell him this Christmas.
What a twat.
I know.
Good to hear that again.
Always good to hear that.
Suede. Animal nitrate. Karl was all flustered because there isn't a record set up, but he's getting all tizzy. He's been more worried about his competitions than sorting out putting records on ready. What?
I'm after Steve's Song for a Lover.
Well, I'll tell you what, why didn't you carry on with your, educating Ricky section? I'll have a look on the CD.
We'll keep it going, Steve.
Yeah,
Cover
you
it.
keep
Go on. Go on then, right, okay. We've had a few emails. Anyone got it right, Karl? Anyone got it?
Educating Ricky, that's the final one. We've got to get that out of the way.
We've got to get Rockbusters as well, though.
We can do that at the end, we can wait.
Go on then.
But we've only got 5 minutes left.
Come on, just do Educating Ricky.
Right. God. The last one that we haven't done is, he's a bit of a nuisance.
Go on then.
Again, not really that interesting.
Thanks.
No, again, I spoke to you in the week, and I had much better things, like when I tell you about Brian Blessed climbing Everest, and for some reason it made him, it played havoc with his belly, and he followed through, and he had to clean up.
Shut himself?
Yeah, using ice and snow.
Why are you telling me that Brian Blessed, in what way is telling me that Brian Blessed shit himself once in any way educational?
Because I was saying how he was climbing Everest, right?
Right.
I give it to him, he's an actor and that, but he gave that a go.
Yeah.
Right, it played...
What's the point of that, you'd say, wouldn't you?
You'd say, God, he's you know...
So he's alright. Me doing a boxing match for no reason is rubbish, but him climbing Everest and shitting himself...
Yeah, he did that.
...is commendable.
Right, and he's only gonna, like, go and do it again. He's gonna climb it again.
Yeah, but he might not shit himself this time.
Yeah, but what's the point in going? Nothing's changed up there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
What's you been?
Well, it has. They've probably cleared it up by now. Right, but, it's slip on it.
I can't even bother telling you this one, because...
Come on! Just do it, or do it now!
Steve, how we doing?
Look, no, never mind that. Look, just tell me what that means. Oh, he's a nuisance. Oh, this is so annoying, Karl. I'm gonna go mental.
Right,
talk!
Right, listen, I'm just putting this in here, right? Right, nuisance is a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah.
Apparently, the old fella who used to hang people...
1700s?
Yeah. He used to be able to tell somebody's weight just by looking at them. Right? That's a bit of a bonus fact.
We'll be the judge of that.
The thing that I wanted to tell you is, money for old rope, do you know what I'm saying? I can't even be bothered.
Yes, you're gonna tell me now. Come on, Karl.
Right,
I mean it.
Basically, money for old rope came from the... right.
What was all that about? He can tell someone's weight. What was that
bonus
for?
fact.
And Brian Blessed shitting himself. What are you... What? No, don't you... No, tell me that now. You nearly made me swear then. I'm getting really annoyed. I'm getting really annoyed now. Tell me this fact, Karl, or I'm gonna go mental.
Come on, Karl, time's running out.
More that people, years ago, when people used to be hung, right?
Right.
If you didn't like the person who's been hung, you'd go, God, I really don't like him. And so you never forget the time.
Presumably if they're being hung, we take that as read.
Yeah. So they never forget afterwards to get the hangman to get the rope and to cut it up into little pieces, and he'd sell them. He'd sell the little pieces of rope to people.
See, Karl, that's the most interesting thing, if it's true, that you've come up with.
Right, okay. And so so they sell the rope?
They sell the rope, and it's money for old rope.
Money for old rope?
Meaning, like, you know, God, it's easy to make money, that all they have to do is cut it up and sell it.
I'm cynical.
I'm not so convinced.
Right, listen, we're really tight. We haven't even got time for a last joke. We've got an ad break, and we've got to give out...
Okay, give the answers then. This is ridiculous.
So, Steve, do you want to pick a winner?
I've got a winner when you give us the answers.
Okay, so the first clue was, that army has got some well nice trenches.
Yeah.
That was DW.
Who's that?
Dandy Warhols.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's good, yeah.
The second one. The top of them curtains are wrecked. All the material is worn.
Yeah.
HV. That's Holly Valance.
Oh, he got a phone call for a woman saying I haven't heard it, and he was talking to her off air, and she went, what is it? So-and-so, them curtains. She went, oh right. He said, you know the thing around the top of the curtain is a palmet, not a valance, and he went, cut her off.
Yeah, but My auntie's always making balances on everything. I'll tell you about that next week, right?
I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Is this the one that farted for 5 minutes?
Yeah, the very same.
Yeah.
Right? So, we'll talk about that. I was in Texas, I tripped up, I landed on my knees in a puddle, WH, wet knee Houston, right?
Wet knee Houston.
Yeah. So,
You're a maniac.
So, who's a winner?
We've got Pete, Catherine and Laura in Newcastle upon Tyne. They're listening online, I assume, and they're
on
going
Sky
to get
Digital.
those great places. And remember, they got loads of stuff. They got the DVD here. They got Linda Green. They got Stone Roses. They got another compilation and Executive Decision.
What did you read about Brian Blessed? Is it actually true, or have you lied with someone else?
It was an interview with him in it.
And what did he say? Come on, what did he say?
He said I climbed Everest and I played havoc with me belly. Let's talk about it next week. We've really run out now.
Oh, you're a fool. Educating Ricky. Have you got some educating Ricky for me?
Got some education.
I need some education, Karl.
That's
I
kind of
desperately need some education. I want to learn about Chinese kids that are born hairier than average. I want to hear about deaf girls that can hear after their mum hits their head against a wall. These are the things I need to know.
I mean, I don't wish to be disrespectful. He doesn't look like a genius.
He doesn't look like
But then I don't know what a genius looks like.
Exactly.
So,
Steve.
you know, I don't want to be an unfair.
look at Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mum thought he was mental as a child.
Where'd you get that information from?
That was in the Einstein book.
But it was in the Einstein book, then it's presumably true.
Which Einstein book is that? His Theory of Relativity?
The big book of Einstein stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the big bumper book of Einstein stuff. It's for a coach trip, and you have to fill in E equals MC1 squared, 2 fish, or 3 hello, and then it's multiple choice, and you fill it. It's great. It's
Did his mum think, A, he was a genius, B, mental?
Most people go for A, but it is in fact B. She thought he was mental at the age of 28. Oh, Karl, you never let me down. You never let me down. So have you got Educating Ricky for me?
We've got Educating Ricky coming up.
We've got Rockbusters.
We've got Rockbusters.
Some great
as seen and talked about in Heat.
In Heat magazine.
It's got really tough this week now. We're not messing about anymore.
Right.
Got some good prizes.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll talk about those later. Because, I mean, was it last week that you had the classic? Was it, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, Karl, apologies. Something like, I'm here in Texas, I've fallen in a puddle, and my knee has got wet.
Yeah. Wet knee Houston.
Wet knee Houston, Whitney Houston.
And
Yeah.
also, it was last week when there was a little bit of confusion over, the one for Holly Valance.
Of
Right?
course. I don't think it was confusion, I think it was your error.
No, it wasn't.
And it was Holy Valance, and you meant Pelmet.
Then, Becky, who called up that time and said, oh, if you're getting mistaken with, Pelmet, right, she sent me an email in a week saying, I've done a bit of research. It was my fault, I've made an error. It is a Valance.
Okay.
And I know about Valances, as I told you last week at the very end, me auntie loves them.
Yeah.
Right? She makes them. She started off just like putting them on top of the, sort of window around the curtain. And then she thought, oh, I can do more with this. And she had a little coffee table that had magazines underneath, and she said, I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I'm sat down.
She sounds like a Pilkington.
So,
I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I sit down.
so she put a Valance round the table.
Yeah.
She just got balances around everything now.
Yeah.
Then, next step, she tapes everything. She never actually watches telly, she tapes it all. Because she gets sick of listening to the adverts and that. So she tapes everything, so she's got loads of videotapes and that. And the video used to get on her nerves. When she was watching a film, she'd see the clock changing. And it distracted her from the film, so she put a Valance round that.
That's genius.
Yeah.
So,
That is really...
or is it mental?
Only
Mrs. Einstein can tell
I
us.
don't know. She's even made a little, Jack Russell look like a hovercraft.
if you
It's
stand still,
great.
that's
So
it.
everything's got a balance.
If you go round and you stand still for too long, the chances are you'll get a Valance around your head.
This is this is Auntie who?
Auntie Nora.
And this is the one that farted for 5 minutes.
She did.
Lest our listeners forget.
Lest we
farted
forget.
for 5 minutes, called his mum, saying I'm farting. 2 minutes into the fart.
She said about 2.5 minutes in.
Yeah. God.
She said I'm about 2.5 minutes into the
my
fart.
mum said, how long's it been going on for? And she said, well, it was about 2.5 minutes before I called you.
Yeah.
And then it went on for a further 2.5 minutes or something. And, then it stopped. And,
She couldn't time it because there was a Valance over the clock.
Yeah, she
Because it used to
couldn't
annoy
time
her
it,
when she was on the phone, you put her off seeing the
So
time.
she was
guessing it was 5 minutes.
This was one consistent fart.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't making a noise, it was just...
Oh, it wasn't making a noise.
just gas.
Right, endless gas.
So, There you
That's
go.
fantastic. Well, we started off with a new one, a little bit of Foo Fighters. We like new and old on this show, don't
Indeed, we like to mix it up.
I'd like to play to the Smiths from their debut album, I Don't Owe You Anything. I Don't Owe You Anything. The lads from Karl's hometown there.
Indeed.
The Smiths. Brilliant, that one. Wow, I went to Manchester, didn't I, the other day? Went up to Manchester for a
What did
little
you make of
corporate. It was alright.
Yeah.
He went, wait till you get out, you see Piccadilly, it's better than Euston. Right. It was, you know, it was nicer. I went outside and there was a ridiculous queue, and sort of one cab.
Right, yeah.
So,
Horse-drawn.
yeah. And so I walked, and it was okay, it was only down the road, it was a bit dark. It was wet and raining.
Obviously, it's the north.
I know, yeah. The hotel was very nice, but no minibar. I've never seen that before. I've travelled all over the world to see them in a hotel without a minibar.
No,
so I don't know what's going on then. I don't know what's going on there. And then I did this corporate gig in Old Trafford. The pitch was up, I don't know what they were doing, but, you know, very impressive. Big impressive. I think they're British Football Club, aren't they? Karl?
Yeah.
You did a gig at where?
Old Trafford. It was in a function room.
Oh,
there
well, I
for
thought it was the stadium.
No, I'm
Incredible.
not that big yet. No. But I mean, you know, I can't really comment on Manchester. I do know that Liverpool was voted most important music city via poll.
True enough.
So, Karl, you're making noises while I'm talking.
Yeah, but you do this all the time trying to wind me up. And I'm not saying Manchester's the best place in the world, but what I'm saying is, there's bits of it that I really miss.
Yeah.
Like last Sunday, right? When I'd met up with Ricky, we had spaghetti bolognese, which was alright. And then I said to him, I need some soil.
Damn, I wish you'd invited me. It sounds amazing.
Said I need some soil. What do you think?
You need some what? Soil?
Soil, yeah.
I need to repot a plant, right?
Yeah.
So,
you need to repot a plant?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So, I'm like, where, you can't see these shops in London.
You can't
Do you know what I mean?
buy
There's nothing around.
I took him straight to one in my street.
Yeah, but near your street, and that's probably the only one in London.
Well, you say that, Karl.
No, it does annoy me. Round my way, it's like, you know...
You can't move for soil shops.
You can't. There's earth, you can just pick up handfuls walking down the street.
Yeah, incredible.
Which
People
is-
just lean over into someone's front garden. No, you can take the plants as well.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Go on.
Manchester, there's loads of decent hardware shops.
Yeah.
Here, you know, if you want a panini and a latte or whatever, you can't move for 'em. But for soil, I had to go virtually how many miles away from me to carry that soil home and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, London's alright, but if cities were sort of marked...
It's neglecting the peat market, really,
Well,
isn't
there's barely any mulch available Rick, in central London.
I'm sick and tired of not getting a good decent compost of a Sunday.
Indeed.
So,
It
you
sickens
know,
me.
I'm thinking of moving to the north,
Yeah.
where there is loads of soil and gravel
Indeed.
and animal shite.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, you were going to say if you were marking cities out of 10, what would you give London?
Well, if you were marking them on, like, you know, on what they have...
Right.
as opposed to what?
Well, as opposed to...
How
The
you
name.
spell it.
Say, like, I think the greatest city in the world is Rome. Right,
Okay.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have you been?
What? Yeah. Why do you think that though?
Just because, like, you turn a corner and there's something there that's really old. Right? Like, you're going down Normal Street.
Go and stay in a Derby and Joan club.
Yeah.
No, but it's like you're going down the road and then you turn a corner and like the Colosseum's in the middle of a busy road. It's like, what's that doing there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just when you think there's no more, you turn another corner.
It's almost as if that was there first.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? London,
Yeah.
what have we got? You know, Trafalgar Square's world known. And you go there, what's there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, there's a lot of space there. Get one big B&Q.
In Trafalgar Square.
To cater for the whole of people who live sort of central Londonish.
Yeah.
And then I'd be happy, but what I'm saying
What with
is...
Nelson just popping up through the middle? Because you can still see it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
B&Q, so B&Q could be like the whole sort of flat thing and make it sort of grey so it looked like rock, and then Nelson popping
Make it
up...
classy is what you're saying.
Yeah. Stone clad it.
Yeah.
So it looks like you've made an effort.
Exactly.
And then you can pop in, and then you can go out and go, oh look, Nelson's column. Oh look at that, isn't Nelson, oh look at that, the victory, defeat, that's fantastic, one of the greatest living.
Yeah.
I need some nails.
Yeah. Perfect. Killing two birds with one stone, you're saying?
But why isn't there more than them shops? Because when I went into yours, every time I've been in there twice now. The first time was to get a shower head, right?
Right.
And I went in there, couldn't resist buying something else. I ended up getting some super glue as well.
Blimey. Hey, big spender.
And then, last Sunday we went in there, got 2 bags of soil, not one, I bought 2.
Yeah.
And I bought some scissors to cut plants with.
Secateurs.
Well, you don't,
Scissors.
you never know when you want, you know, you might need more soil, I suppose.
Well, I've got
You've
2.
stocked up now. Where'd you keep it, under your bed?
Sorry, this isn't going out, is it, this conversation? It's not going out on air.
I got a feeling it might be.
You're joking. We've better play a record.
Okay.
Play a classic. I hate to say I told you so on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously. With me, Steve Merchant. And Karl Genius Pilkington.
Absolutely. I was watching a bit of TV.
Karl the Brain Pilkington.
Yeah, the brains.
Yeah.
I was watching a bit of TV last night, Rick.
Go on.
And I had a little
Children
thought.
Need?
No, I didn't watch Children Need.
Oh, you missed a
I was watching
treat.
something. I think it was last night. It was a bit earlier. I had a little thought for lads that might be out tonight, you know, on the Raz.
Yeah.
Maybe they get a little bit of success with the ladies.
Yeah.
This was something that struck me as I was watching it. A lot of gentlemen, you know, when they're engaged in, you know, an act of, you know, relations with a lady, they like to sort of, you know, think of an image or something that will prevent them from, you know, and you catch my drift. We're men in the world.
Grandmother's funeral is the cliche, isn't it?
Exactly. And I'll tell you what I think it should be. Rick Waller jogging. I was watching Fit Club. I have never seen anything
I
like
liked it when
Rick.
Harvey lost it with him.
Oh, man alive. I mean, I know I slag him off, but I don't really like him either. I just think he comes across appallingly. And I think, you know...
When he just walked away in that mid-conversation talking to that bloke, they're doing it for his good, really.
But he's like 31 stone?
I think he lost a bit. I think he's 29 now. Don't exaggerate, Steve. You make him sound like a fat.
But you know, I mean, yeah.
That was close, wasn't it?
When having sex, you know, apparently, thinking of, Rick Waller.
Oh.
Helps.
Oh, don't look what's happened.
Exactly.
That's the reverse effect.
Yeah.
Oh, no, me and Karl.
No, if you're with a lady, apparently that works.
I know, he's out now, isn't he? He's out.
Did he walk out?
I think so. I think that's it, from what I can...
No, I think next week they kick him out, because I read something about, they get rid of him next week because of his attitude, and first time I read it I thought he'd actually ate someone's hat. But it was...
You lost me.
Got rid of him because of the attitude. Oh!
Everything you think of now is puns. You can't get puns out of your head, can you?
Oh, Karl, you're great. Look at his little face.
He's so pleased. How long have you been working on that?
You've gotta give him that. That was a real joke. Look at his face. He knew it was funny. It was meant to be funny. He said it to be funny, and it was. Well done. Well done.
I'm just interested, I just want to dissect it, because it was brilliant, and I'm wondering, how long have you been working on it?
About 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, it's good stuff, it was worth the wait.
I got it now.
Oh, well done.
The attitude.
Well, I don't think... there's only one band that can top that. Another band from Manchester. Oasis.
Oh.
Vines. Ms. Jackson on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Right. Getting towards that time where Karl really kicks into action. We've got the quiz. We've got Rockbusters. The quiz that's a bit like Blockbusters, but mainly around music. Yeah, and a pun. A scenario. Based in wordplay by Karl. You know how good he is at that.
Can I tell you what the prizes are this week? Because they're worth playing for.
Please do.
Okay, we got on DVD the Manic Street Preachers' Greatest Hits on DVD. The videos, I'm assuming. The film Human Traffic, it's a remixed DVD version of that. I think we were giving this away last week. You've obviously got a bulk stock of these. Groove Armada's Love Box, an album from them. The best air guitar album in the world ever. That's got the likes of Queen, Adams, Palmer, Leopard,
Aerosmith.
Idol. I don't see it.
I think the Smiths should be on there.
We got Purple, Wolf, Cooper, Top, Quo, and Nickelback. Now there was another one around actually. I seem to have lost one of the prizes, Karl. Oh, here we are. Yeah, this is, you may have seen this advertised on TV, the Best Bands Ever album. And, just imagine who this is aimed at. It's got, Oasis on there, Nickelback, Coldplay, The Dandy Warhols, Bohemian Like You, in brackets, as featured in the Vodafone TV ads. Then it's got Smash Mouth, Walking on the Sun, as featured in the Ford Fiesta TV ads.
It's for people who didn't know they liked indie.
Exactly.
They go, I don't like indie, but you do. Do you like this advert? Yeah. Do you like this advert? Yeah. Well, you like indie then? I do! I love indie!
Can't believe it!
That's great!
Yeah. The Mock Turtles, Can You Dig It? As featured in the Vodafone TV ads.
I really like indie!
Do you love, the T-Mobile TV ad?
Yeah?
You'll love this, it's got Royce Cup on there, which is featured in there. So that's an album for people who don't like music.
That's great. That's coming up, Rockbusters.
But I also have a movie, because you know last week I gave away Executive Decision.
Yeah.
That was on TV last night.
Yeah.
So you didn't receive my copy.
But they probably watched it before it was on TV.
Yeah.
A few days before.
I was clearing out, Rick, last night. I found another one which might be just to entice people.
Go on. What is it? It's coming out the bag.
The Pelican Brief.
Oh!
Another arbitrary film choice on VHS. Pelican Brief. Roberts, Washington. You know,
get it now on VHS before there are no more VHSs around.
It was $6.99. I'm giving that away as well.
That's great, and that's his personal collection.
That's from my personal collection.
Did you see that picture, Karl?
I don't think it's even rewound from when I watched it.
Really?
No, it's not. You can rewind that yourself.
Brilliant. That's a little touch of Steve Merch in there.
Exactly.
Did you see that picture that he brought in?
I have actually. Can I see it again, Karl? Yeah, it's just a picture. You carry it with you, do you? In your wallet all the time?
He found it, right?
Last week I was sorting it, because I'm moving. I'm sorting all my files out and that. And, because this is the only school picture
So he had one school picture taken when he was that 10 in 1981?
I was about 8 and 9.
Okay, tell the story. Why is that the only school picture you had taken?
Just because, no, I had them all, I was always had them taken, right? But my dad thought they were overpriced for what you get. Because really, he said that the whole idea of a good picture is like not only the person that's in it, but like the surroundings.
Yeah.
So like if you're on holiday, he'll look at me and he'll go, "Oh yeah, you're looking well there. What's that hill in the background?" or something like that. Whereas with
that's Rick Waller catching up.
Yeah. But all you get on these school pictures is like a blue background, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm not paying for that.
Sure.
And it was a big one. You get a bigger one than that, but that's just like a little passport size, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That was £1.60. and he wasn't really happy paying that, because he said you could get like some done from True Print for a lot cheaper.
That he could take himself.
Yeah.
So did he tell you at the time that was the last time he was paying for a school picture?
He said, I'll get you one, because it's good to have a picture of you at school.
Yeah.
Because they hardly ever went and all that. So he said, like...
What's that in the background? That's my school dad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't recognise it. You got any interesting stories about it? Not really.
So, I was a good-looking kid there, wasn't I?
What are you doing with your mouth, though, Karl? It looks like you're it looks like a bit like you're a ventriloquist dummy.
What do you mean?
Well, it looks like you're sort of scrunching your mouth up, or pursing your lips or something. Do you not think?
Oh.
I mean, now you've got, dare I say it, very kissable lips. So in here, look how thin they are. Look at those little thin lips. It's like you...
I'm smiling.
That's a smile?
Oh, that's what I didn't recognise that either.
I didn't realise that was a smile.
Is that what you look like when you smile? Oh.
And what's happening with the head?
Had your dad seen you smile before then?
Well, I think that's why he wanted to buy one as well. That's like, so he can remember what it was like.
Right.
Because I don't smile.
When did you stop smiling? When was the last time you had fun and you just like happy-go-lucky? When can you remember when you had no weight of the world on your shoulders?
I often think that. Because I don't sleep like I did, like when I was a kid. I had really good sleeps, and now I don't.
Right.
So, I think...
But you've got a lot of things on your mind, you know, where can I buy soil?
Yeah, how can I confuse a computer by tapping in Y in the search engine?
Yeah. Probably when I was 14, I was stress-free.
Were you?
Yeah.
When was the paper round?
Probably when I was 15.
Right. That's when it started, was it?
I reckon. That's when I started getting stressed.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the haircut you've got in the... because obviously I've not seen you before with hair, and it's an interesting mop. Do you have that done at a barber's?
No, my mum used to do it.
Yeah, she cut that?
Yeah.
Right,
what she used to do, you can't see it in that picture, but there was one where she did, bit of a mess of it. I mean, it looks quite...
I can't tell from this picture.
No, but that's one of the better ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. Were you bullied much?
on one of them, she used to, like, use a bit of newspaper in front of my eyes, so she didn't, like, stick these scissors in my eyes.
So newspaper stops scissors every time.
Yeah, because I think they use that for bulletproof vests.
Yeah, the tough fabric of a reconstituted newspaper will stop the scissor any time.
No, definitely. I remember, because I know a lot of UN guys, when they're on patrol, they use some old copies of The Sun.
They put it in their pocket.
Yeah, the Daily Star.
Sorry, yeah, okay, yeah.
So, she used to always be on a Sunday night when, like, Songs of Praise is on or something, nothing was on the telly, just before Last of the Summer Wine or something. Yeah. And she used to get the...
What a depressing time that was.
It was.
Having your hair cut and listening to songs of praise, waiting for Last Summer Wine.
Yeah.
I always used to get depressed on Sunday nights.
Well, I'll tell you
and it wasn't because school was the next morning, it was because the telly was so shite.
I think it was because school was next morning, because Antiques Roadshow still does that for me. I see the Antiques Roadshow, I love it, but I'm just thinking I've got to go to school or work tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Roadshow, I wish they put it on the week.
But I know, I've never really had that. When I worked, I suppose. I work now, don't I? No. Oh, what a giveaway. What a giveaway.
Sorry, you were telling us a story about...
So anyway, she'd get the newspaper, right, and she'd stick it in front of my eyes, and,
what does that say? Go on.
So she'd
You inherited a lot from your mum, didn't you?
So she'd cut me fringe, right?
Yeah.
But then she'd go, oh, it's not straight. It's not very good. So she'd go again, and she'd keep going, and the problem
is that why you're bald now?
I was to say, is this that you have got hair, but she has to get it right.
Yeah.
It takes her to the back of your neck to get it even.
She sort of removed the newspaper, and she was like, oh, God. And I said, what? She goes, oh, I'm sorry. And like...
What, did this happen every Sunday?
Can I ask you, Karl, when she was cutting your hair in this picture, do you think she was maybe sidetracked by an interesting article in the paper and really wasn't paying attention to what she was doing?
Or did her favourite hymn come on?
Yeah,
and she started
or Compo was rolling down the hill.
In a bath.
So yeah, I ended up with, like, you know, a fringe sort of on the back of my head, because she just kept going further and further.
Sure.
But,
when did you start going to that barber that was on the railway station?
That's when I started work, so, you know, sort of 16, 17.
And is he the one that said you have the hair of a Chinaman?
He's the one yeah.
He sounds like a wise man.
Well, can I just stop? I think maybe we should play a tune, but maybe you could bring in some photos next week, Rick, and we can talk about them on the radio.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna do a card trick. Right, take a card. Any card. Yeah. Right, look at it. Is that your card?
Boy with the Arab strap, Bell and Sebastian. Coming next, Educating Ricky.
You too, Electrical Storm. Steve, am I mental, or have we been playing some great tunes
We've
today?
been playing some great tunes, you're not mental. You're a genius.
Yeah, on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl Pilkington in the chair now, the talked about, the acclaimed Educating Ricky.
Right, well, just in case anyone's new, doesn't normally listen, basically, I'm educating Ricky. Do a bit of research in a week, find stuff, news, history, anything that's interesting. 3 stories, I give them a nice little headline, you take your pick. Between now and 3, you're gonna learn 3 things. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, the headlines are, I'll be no buying one of them.
Give us that again.
I'll be no buying one of them.
Nice, okay.
Yeah. We've also got, hippopotamus news.
Okay. Okay.
And, can you believe it?
Can you believe it?
Well, I'm gonna go for hippopotamus news.
Hippopotamus news?
Hippopotamus news.
Right, well, this one, it's, I'm not gonna take the credit here. I heard Christian talking about this on breakfast, right? Because it's a good story that happened. Basically, I don't know if I told you about it last week when we were having our spaghetti. But,
I think you did.
Right,
I know what it is. I know what this is.
Okay, I've not heard this.
Right, there's a little midget. Right, there's a circus.
I'm loving it already.
Circus going on somewhere. I think it was in America. And,
is that present day or old times?
I'm talking, like, in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Right? Little midget, circus, really packed out show, people are loving it.
Right, Steve, you're asked the same question I did, I know.
So there's a little midget jumping up and down on a trampoline.
What sort of circus is this?
Right?
I'd pay good money to see it.
So, everyone's clapping, and he's getting carried away.
Because he can't believe they're loving it. I didn't know they'd like a little person on a trampoline, but they love me.
But you know what it's like when, if there's a crowd of people sort of encouraging you to sort of go higher and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knew it was getting out of hand. But he was jumping, and he was coming down the road going, higher, and he's going really high in the air, right? So he's doing this, crowd are clapping. There's a hippo, right, just sat next to the trampoline, getting ready to come on and do his act.
Oh, right, I thought he was in the audience.
Getting ready to do his act, Steve.
Yeah. So
he's a ventriloquist.
What do you mean he's sitting by the trampoline waiting to do his act?
Because it's...
Why does he sit in the dressing room and they go, 5 minutes, Mr. Muss, 5 minutes, Mr. Muss.
So anyway, right, so the hippo's there,
He's getting annoyed, is he? Because the midget's
He's
eating
going,
into
how
his
can I
toe.
follow this? How can I,
he's
this is
probably
really
thinking,
annoying. They're gonna be, no.
so...
He's thinking, he's already done the trampoline, my pogo stick act is never gonna work.
Yeah, go on, so there's a hippo waiting. See, it's a great story and I just know he embellishes it or he gets slightly wrong. Go on.
So
there's a midget jumping up and down, the hippo's getting annoyed,
The crowd are going mad, the midget's loving it, can't believe his luck. Although you think, he probably knows he's dicing with danger.
Yeah. So, next thing you know, they're all saying higher. He gives it one big, like, heavy sort of landing on the trampoline, goes really high, but goes off at a funny angle.
Oh.
Hypotenuse.
Okay.
Yeah. And sort of flies off.
Hypotenuse!
Sure.
Flies off at a funny angle.
Oh dear.
Hippo's there, swallows him whole. Crowd are clapping, thinking that's why the hippo was waiting there.
Rubbish. Rubbish.
It's not rubbish though.
But no, maybe there was an accident in a circus with a midget and a hippo, but at no point was this hippo waiting to go on, going, come on. The midget flew off at a hypotenuse and landed in the hippo's mouth and was swallowed whole. This is what you embellish it. That is great. And what's
I have to say though, Rick, when I heard midget, trampoline, hippopotamus, I was thinking accident waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Maybe? I mean...
It is that, you should never put those three together.
Never.
It's a recipe for disaster. Everyone knows that. Midget, trampoline, hippopotamus. Are you mental?
You're asking for trouble.
Well...
You know, when he told me it, he said, and the midget, he didn't mention the hippopotamus, and he said the midget went on, and soon he fell off, and the hippo ate him. And I said, sorry, what was the hippo doing there? He went, it's a circus.
I've never heard of a circus having a hippo.
What do hippos do?
What can they do? You can't train them, can you?
What do you...
Aren't they, like, very deadly? They're huge, aren't they?
You can't have a hippo in a circus.
Are you sure?
You're not thinking of Zippo?
He's neither clown.
Yeah. No, and it wasn't some sort of, where Zippo was eating a midget, and it's some sort of horrible sexual act.
No, it was definitely, I heard it on breakfast, right?
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, it's definitely fact.
Yeah, okay, right, okay, good. Well, let's play a record then.
So,
I'd like to play a classic Springsteen. We're all fans of Springsteen there. This might be his debut album, I'm not sure. Greetings from Raspberry Park.
I think it is, yeah.
New Jersey. And this is Growing Up. It's great, it's classic. Springsteen and Growing Up off of Asbury Park album. Great. They make you feel good, Springsteen, doesn't he?
He's a joy. He's an absolute joy. Rockbusters.
That's what they're all reading and writing about.
Absolutely. Before you get the clues, let me just remind you of the prizes you're playing for. We've got the Manic Street Preachers' Greatest Hits on DVD. We've got the film Human Traffic on DVD. We've got the Best Air Guitar Album 2 on CD. Groove Armada's... Is this their current album?
Yeah.
I guess it's not selling very well. They're still trying to promote that. You can have that as well. If you are a fan of the Ford Fiesta TV ad, of the Vodafone TV adverts, you will love the...
You didn't think you liked indie? Well, you do.
Exactly, and that's got Feeder and Travis and Badly Drawn Boy and all sorts on there. Plus, my own copy, $6.99 it cost me, The Pelican Brief, starring Julia Roberts and Denzel Washington. If you've not seen that, panned and scanned on VHS. So what are the clues?
Do you know what a pelican, I read the other day, that has to turn its head upside down to eat?
Give us the clues.
So, Rockbusters...
Well, let me just explain. A bird has a gullet, and esophagus and a gullet is all in one thing. It hasn't got peristalsis, which is the movement that we have that can make food. So a bird can only rely on gravity.
Yeah.
So it has to have its head up and has to shake. It can't eat.
You were going to say that, weren't you, Karl?
Yeah. So, Rockbusters, you mentioned it earlier, one of last week's was, it's a cryptic clue and then some initials. I was in Texas, I fell in a puddle on my knees got wet, WH, wet knee, Houston. Yeah. That's the sort of thing we...
Use of the word knee twice there in the cryptic clue and in the final
and the word
answer.
Wet, I think you're right.
Yeah, which is wit. Right. So fine, good.
So, there's 3 of them. It's email only, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Sure.
Load of stuff to win. Here they go. Right, the first one.
I'm writing these down. Go on.
Make a note of them.
The fella has only got one badge left.
The fella has only got one badge left.
Yeah.
What are the initials?
That's just E.
Just E? Oh, just E.
Just E. The fella has only got one badge left.
This is either a solo artist or a band.
Yeah. Second one. The unmarried lady is a friend I eat out with.
Say that again?
The unmarried lady is a friend I eat out with.
The unmarried lady is a friend I eat out with.
Yeah.
What's the initial?
MD.
MD.
MD. And finally, I really love that woman. I love everything she does. That's M. Now,
Give us that one again.
I really love that woman. I love everything she does.
And that's...
Right. M.
Right, now I've got that one.
Right.
Okay.
So,
It's great. That's lovely.
So,
That's great.
I think the second and third one's quite easy. First one is a killer.
Is it tricky?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. So, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, and we pick a winner out at about 1:45 or something.
Quarter to 2, yeah, absolutely.
No, 2:45. What am I talking about?
2:45.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's dynamite stuff. Well done, Karl.
Excellent.
More Educating Ricky next.
Yeah.
Beck, Lost Cause on XFM 104.9. Wow. Karl, we haven't had a lot of emails. They're tough.
I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I've got one, and I'm struggling with two, but I know one of the words, but I can't think of the band that fits it unless the clue's wrong, and I've got no idea with the first one, E.
Give us them again.
Just
Just quickly recap. Number one, the fella has only got one badge left. That's E. Second one, the unmarried lady is a friend I eat out with. That's MD. And the last one, I really love that woman. I love everything she does. That's M.
Well, Ricky, what is it, Ricky?
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
So keep those coming in. If there's no winner, we don't know whether to give it to the person who gets the most right first, or have a massive rollover. And what a Christmas booty that would be, as Karl said. All those... Imagine what you could have... indecent proposal, maybe.
Who knows?
You know what I mean?
I've got some real junk, so I can bring that in.
Yeah. The mean machine.
Imagine
with
someone
Vinnie
this
Jones.
Christmas. Yeah, exactly. This Christmas, I can't believe it. Oh, thank you so much for the Pelican brief. I noticed you left the price on.
And it's on VHS as well.
Oh, great.
Brilliant.
This is a perfect Christmas gift, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. Okay. Now, so that's going.
CD.
That's going. That's going on. That's a big prize. It's a big weekend prize on XFM. Educating Ricky, part 2. Right. What's the clues left?
Well, we've got left the headlines. I'll be no buying one of them.
Yeah.
And we've also got chicken. You believe it? Chicken. You believe it? So they're the two that are left. Which one's you going for?
Chicken. You believe it is not that picture, is it? In that we saw.
Which picture?
The bloke with the...
No.
Right, okay.
God, that was bad.
Right, okay,
so...
I was about to explain that.
We can't really discuss this on air, can we?
Well, we can. Steve brought in, Karl, the best book ever, which is, what is it?
I found it when I was moving house. It's an FHM publication, and it's kind of like lots of grotesque pictures and stories, and like a book of freaks and weirdos and grotesques.
And Karl opened it, and the first one was like...
At the back.
At the back.
Well, you couldn't believe your luck, could you?
What was it? What was number 50?
A bloke with 2 heads.
And he said, what's number 1?
Yeah.
And then number 6, there's a bloke who's a squid or something.
Octopus.
Yeah. yeah. He's loving it. At number 1, he said, well, it's just a fella under a rock. And I went, oh no, read on, I think I know about this. And it's the fella that was found, he caused a landslide while having sex with a chicken. And they pulled him off, and there he is, the chicken owner.
Right,
so Karl could not believe his luck. So it's not that.
Chicken, you believe it?
I'll have that one.
You're going for that one?
Yeah.
Right, well, we've talked a lot on the show about,
We've talked a lot on the show.
Yeah.
About animals without heads.
We haven't! We haven't! We talked about cockroaches could live without a head for 7 days.
Yeah, we talked about that, and then of course there was the the well-known one about the fella who had his head cut off, and he
blinked and
he said to his mate, count how many times I blink when my head comes off.
Yeah, when you told it to me, you said his head came off, and he said, as he said it was in the basket, he said, quick, count how many times I blink. And it was Nick Frost that had to go, no, Karl, no, he said it before. I went, and that was lovely. So, yeah, we've talked quite a lot about things, heads coming off. Go on then.
Well, this one, right, back in 1945.
You looked up the date.
It's got a specific date, wow.
Mate Jonathan sent this one, you know him as well, the lad at the BBC, right? He emailed this one in. So thanks for that. Chicken, it's called Mike.
There's a chicken called... Sorry, I missed a bit there. There's a chicken called Mike.
chicken called Mike.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened was, it was living on a farm, right? Loads of chickens knocking about, and the owner of the farm is like, you know, getting ready for tea, and his wife says, go out and get a fresh chicken, because me mum's coming round. So he thinks, well, I want to get a good one in, because I want to impress her, because back then, even then, they wanted to impress the mother-in-law and that. So they said, alright, I'll just nip out and get one. So he sees Mike, chicken, running around.
Is this during the war or after the war?
1945, I'd say that was after.
No, ended, well...
It ended in 1945.
Yeah,
Okay.
September, go on.
So, chicken's running about, he thinks that one, that looks alright, I'll have that one.
Mikey.
So he picks it up, and he cuts its head off.
Oh.
Puts it on the block, cuts its head off, runs about a bit, like they do. He thinks it'll stop in a minute, keeps running about. Oh, what's going on here? Right? He's now, like, chasing the chicken without an head.
Yeah.
He's saying it should die in a minute. Anyway, doesn't die. Chicken's walking around with no head. Lives for 18 months.
Yeah.
Chicken with no head.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard this story before, Rick, and the explanation, as I understand it, was that certain vital cords, spinal cords, weren't severed when the head came off. So that was why it continued to live.
Yep.
I don't know if that sounds plausible.
It's fine. Absolutely fine. How did it take on, protein and energy?
The fella who owned it, he said, well, hang on a minute. He said, I could kill it now.
But I've got a wonder chicken here.
But he's thinking, it must really want to live.
Sure.
Right? If it survived that, they've sort of got something here.
Yeah.
So what he does, he gets a little, eye droplet thing that he used to use on it. Obviously not anymore, right? And he filled it with grain and water, and it had a big hole in its neck where its head used to be. And he,
incredibly.
And he dropped...
You know what, I mean, that is possible then, if it, you know, without infection, without infection, if he's taking on things, it is possible, right? Why?
Why what?
Why did he do it? How cruel is that? I mean, that was not cruel, because the chicken obviously, you know... He
said if he thought it was a bit fed up, he would have killed it. He said, but he was running around quite happy.
Well, it wasn't fed up at all, because it had no brain.
Well...
What do you mean, well?
I'm just saying what...
It was nothing. It was just sinew and nerves and electrical impulses breaking down energies, right? That's all it was. It didn't have a brain. So it was... But I'm worried about the psychology of keeping a pet without a head. I'm worried more about what the farmer was thinking than the chicken.
I tell you this, what the question I'm asking is, was the mother-in-law impressed? I mean, that's why he set out, to shot Mike's head off.
This is lovely, but it's just the head where you don't kill a chicken like that all at once.
I thought we were having chicken for dinner. Come and look at this, running around the yard.
Yeah! Oh, dear.
So, there you go, you've learnt something there.
Yeah, I have learnt something.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, one more...
That farmer, I've learnt that farmer was very strange indeed.
There you go.
I have to say, to be fair to Karl, I have a feeling like when I read it, the reason he kept it alive was as a novelty. He got charged people to come and see the incredible headless chicken called Mike.
Right.
So, here we are.
That's great.
So, tune, Steve?
A tune, yeah. I just thought I'd like to hear a little bit more from that NERD album. We played some of this from there when it first came out many moons ago. Since then, it's gone on, it's won awards, all sorts. And obviously, NERD now, Nerd, as they're sometimes known, kind of big producers. They're producing Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, all kinds of people. But this is a track from their album.
I've heard they're wicked.
They are indeed. And this is called Things Are Getting Better. NERD. From their album In Search Of, and that's Things Are Getting Better. After the break, we got more Educating Ricky and the results to this week's Rockbusters.
And Richard Ashcroft.
Oh, dynamite.
Richard Ashcroft. Check the Meaning on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. Karl just remembered a little story he was excited to tell you.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh, are you going to tell him?
Oh, okay. When we went into this cafe last week after... Karl had got his soil. We got 2 big bags of soil. I was going, get a bag to put him in. And he was an I can walk home. After about 10 yards, he was going, oh, my arms hurt. So he had to get a cab. So we stopped in this cafe. He had spaghetti bolognese. You were loving it, weren't you?
It was good. It was a good little day out.
And there was a woman that worked there. And she sort of, I could see her sort of looking at me. And she looked at her. And then she came over and said, are you off the telly? And I went, yeah. She went, yeah, Chris Moyles.
Oh, beautiful. beautiful.
And I just laughed, and we both started laughing. She went, "No, sorry, I said, no, I'm not, because what's your name?" And I had to say it. I went, Ricky Gervais. She went, "Oh, no." She went, "Oh, the thing in the office." I went, yeah.
No, the funny thing was, she went and said,
"Oh, no, I saw you on
Jonathan Ross,
that's it, yeah."
So she'd obviously watched the Jonathan Ross show thinking, Chris Miles has, lost his looks a bit or whatever. That's what I found funny, the fact that she must have watched it thinking that...
Yeah, she went, "No, I saw you the other day." And I was like, yeah. She went, "Oh." And then we were still sort of laughing. I was thinking, she went, "Oh, sorry, I was going, no, it's fine. I was thinking, imagine that. Just like,
God.
Great. There's not a better one to pick.
That's just appalling.
Oh, that was lovely. It's the second time as well.
That you've been mistaken for Chris Moyles?
Yeah.
Oh man, you've got to feel bad about that.
I've had Moyles, I've had, Vegas a few times.
Johnny Vegas, yeah, I can imagine.
So,
Do you think, like, people are going up to Moyles going, you do that thing about working in an office?
Yeah, well, dunno. I don't know whether I hope that or not.
I don't know, it depends what he answers.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say that, are you Chris Moyles? No, what's your name, Ricky Gervais? Never heard of you. That'd have been brilliant.
So, yeah, okay, right. Educating Ricky, number 3.
Ricky,
well, we've got the emails in.
Yeah, people are they're finally trickling in. I think people are getting them.
People have got the full 3 right, but I mean, it's still worth emailing in because we never know who we're going to pick as a winner.
I'll tell you what, we've still got 50 minutes before we give the prize out, so let's give them again. Just give us a quick run there, because I think these are tantalising. They really are.
Yeah. So the first one, the fella has only got 1 badge left.
Yeah.
That's E. The second one, the unmarried lady is a friend to eat out with. MD. And the third one, I really, really love that woman. I love everything she does. That's M.
Excellent.
Right. Ricky.gervais at xfm.co.uk. You can win all kinds of prizes.
Educating Ricky,
right,
number 3.
Final one. You've had hippopotamus. You had chicken, you believe it. And the last one is I'll be no buying one of them.
I love that one.
Alright. Interesting one, this. I mean, I spent probably 3 days looking for this stuff. Right? And another one that I came across, right? And, I was gonna use, I was a bit like...
What a great life you've got!
I was just, going on the internet and that, and I also, looking magazines, found a story about a bloke who, I don't know, he was messing about with a chainsaw and
I don't know, he's messing about with a chainsaw. He was juggling a midget, and, whilst taking his alligator for a walk, and, go on.
And his arm, come off, right?
Come off? What do you mean his arm come off?
The chainsaw took it off.
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
it was like, oh.
Again,
anyway,
he's going, oh no.
Oh.
So, there's a picture of him on a exercise bike, sort of just with a little stump sort of balancing, but he's getting on with his life, he's happy and everything's fine, he's not complaining, it's his own fault, he's got no one to blame, right? So anyway, he goes to the doctors, and the doctor says, I can do something there. So he goes, well, it's alright, I'm getting by alright, don't worry about it. And he goes, no, we've got an arm in, right? We can attach that, a real arm, from someone who's, I think they'd passed away or lost an arm or something. And,
they lost an arm and didn't want it back.
Yeah, I'll have it. Are you using that? No, because I know someone.
Because I know a bloke, actually.
Yeah. Well, can't you just put this one back on? Well, it's first come, first serve, really.
I was just building a bionic man. We've replaced one arm with a robot's arm, so we got a spare one.
So, the doctor's going, let me put it on. He's like, well, alright then. So
ungrateful bastard.
So, he does the operation, right? Everything's fine. He's loving it. He's happy again because he said he can brush his teeth.
Right. Okay. If this is going to be
he's
something
loving
like
it again because now he can brush his teeth.
Right. If this is going to be, and it was a leg, or it was a chimp's arm,
or it was the arm of a killer.
It was 2 left arms. Right. I'm going to kill you.
Oh, let's leave it then.
What is it? What's the answer?
No, it's not that. I'm just.
What is? Okay.
Right. So he says, go on then, do it. So he sews it on, and like I say, he's happy, he's brushing his teeth, he can have a pint in the pub, he's lifting a pint with it, all his mates are happy for him. It goes on for about 2 years, everything's fine. Then it all starts going flaky.
Oh, I knew it would.
Was it made of chocolate?
Alright, so it all goes all like gammy, and then, for some reason...
The arm starts going gammy.
It goes gammy, and it gets longer.
Of course it does.
So there's a picture of him, right, stood in the magazine. He's stood there with his arms by his side. one arm's normal, the other one is, like, past his knees. It's he can pull his socks up without bending over.
So, is this gonna be, they gave him the arm of an 8-year-old child who would have been the tallest man in the world?
No, he just said, oh, what am I gonna do? And the doctor said, oh, there's not much we can do. And left it.
Wait a minute, you can't leave it there.
That's not a story.
So, Karl,
That's not
you've
a
got to
story.
tell us the explanation. Was it an incredible plastic arm? An incredible expanding arm? Did he fight crime later?
No.
Well, that's the end of the story? You've got no scientific explanation as to why...
That's why I didn't pick it.
But you just told it to us anyway!
Yeah, but I'm just saying the sort of knowledge I come over when I'm looking for the good knowledge. Yeah?
So that
Why did
hasn't
his
even
arm
made the
grow?
list.
Why did this arm grow? He must have had an adult arm. They couldn't have given him an arm.
I don't know. It's just one of them.
It's rubbish again, isn't it?
Well, I don't. It's an interesting story, but you should have read.
It's not, and it's rubbish.
But you
It
should have
didn't
read to
happen.
the end. There was photos. Proof.
Yeah.
But you should have read to the end of the article, Karl.
No, I did. And he said, you know, he's not happy and he wishes he wouldn't have had it done and all that, and, you know.
Sure this wasn't entirely unexpected?
No, seriously, he was saying, you know, his teeth are nice and clean again because he could brush them and that, but his arm's getting in the way. Ruining his shirts and everything. So I'll leave that.
Let's play a tune. Let's come back with the next one, because I love the fact that this is like Ronnie Corbett telling one of his jokes. That's ironic. That wasn't even the story he was going to tell us.
Play it, record. Oh, God. That's alright, isn't it? Travis. Level come through. Quite like that. On XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. In the chair. We've had the answers in. It's Rockbusters. It's the results. Karl, give us the winning answers.
Right, Steve, you search for a winner.
I will.
At random. We can slip into that. So, the first one was, the fella's only got one badge left.
I have no idea.
The initial was E.
Go on.
Will I get out the answer now,
Yeah,
Steve?
give the answer, yeah.
I think you should.
That was his last sticker. Yeah?
Elastica. The band Elastica. I'm not
doesn't
sure.
work.
No.
Doesn't work.
The word sticker and a badge are not interchangeable.
And it's not his last sticker, it's Elastica.
Yeah, but, like, his last sticker. So, someone's got it.
Oh! So say a different word and it works. Oh, so if the band is Elastica, then it works. God, if only Justin would have named it different. If she'd have just gone, let's call it Elastica, then we'd have, yeah.
Second one.
What was the clue?
The unmarried lady is a friend I eat out with.
Go on.
That's Miss Dynamite.
Miss Dynamite.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, but it's been running for 4 weeks. We've done the obvious
Doesn't
ones.
work. Doesn't work.
Miss Dynamite.
Again, if she'd have called herself Miss Dynamite, it would work. She didn't. See, what's happening is pop stars are letting you down by naming themselves incorrectly for your clues. Those don't work. They don't count.
And the last one, I really, really love that woman. I love everything she does. That was M.
Yeah.
That was Madonna.
Yeah, Madonna. I'm gonna give you that. That worked, yeah. Right, that's the end of that feature, until you can get ones that work. Okay, so you won't hear any more of that, because it's rubbish. You're running out already. Do you just think of the first 3 things that come in your mind and make them fit? Just think of 3 bands and make a clue, and if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter.
I just went through the
rubbish. It was rubbish.
Whatever.
Right, play a record.
Hang on, we've got a winner.
We have. Actually, you say all this, Rick, but lots of people got them right. Which
so
I don't know what that proves, really. I don't know if that says, you know, you're the tosser or
they're as stupid as Karl?
One or the other.
Okay.
But I'm going to give it to Simon and Daisy in Hitchin. They got the right answers, and well done to them. They get the Pelican Brief and some other treats.
Serves you right.
I look forward to
Serves you right for understanding Karl. Swade's new one. Obsessions. On XFM 104.9. Well, I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Well, Karl, that's about it, and we got sidetracked on the last Educating Ricky. You telling me about a man whose arm grew.
Well, something went wrong. I'm not saying it grew, just saying...
What? The rest of him shrunk?
It went long.
It went long. What, is that growing now? What do you mean it went long? Did it grow, or what, did it come loose?
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, so it was hanging by a thread which made it look long?
Yeah.
Within the skin?
It's like how you can stretch a pair of tights if something is too heavy.
Arms are very much like tights. They are very much
the
like tights.
the one that we didn't get round to on Educating Ricky was, I'll be no buying one of them.
Go on.
Are you familiar with the saying white elephant?
Something is a white elephant. I don't think so.
Hold on. You phoned me last night and said, what does white elephant mean? And I told you.
Yeah, I know, but I know where it came from, but I just was wondering what it was about.
So how, in what way is Educating Ricky you calling me up and asking me something?
Well, do you know how it came about?
You've given away some of the secrets of the show there, it would appear. I didn't realise he was phoning you for information.
Well, he just asked me what the term white elephant meant in sort of like colloquial.
Did he say, why are you interested, Karl? No reason.
No, go on.
Well, what it is, ages ago when...
So what do we understand white elephant to mean?
Well, some of that's useless, that's like a bit of a, you know, something that you wouldn't want around that's just stood there doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Karl.
So years ago, when people used to use elephants...
Years ago, go on.
When people used to use elephants?
Yeah, more than they do now.
Right.
More than they do now!
This doesn't involve a midget, does it?
No. So, you know, they'd use them in the workplace and stuff.
Sure,
sort of,
as
factories.
sort of,
Yeah.
To move stuff around and that.
Yeah, security guards.
Yeah. Can't trust them with the buns, though. That's why they stopped using them.
Oh,
Right.
God, go on.
So there was loads of elephants knocking about, and the thing is, right,
you couldn't move from.
if you have a lot of something,
Uh-huh.
you also have a lot of demic ones, don't you?
A lot of what?
You know, sort of demicky ones that aren't right, really.
Demicky?
Well, you know, like, they weren't properly. They weren't
properly.
They weren't
Sorry,
demicky or
Carl? What are you doing?
Right, I'm getting to the story. So what I'm telling you is...
They were a bit demicky, so they weren't
Basically
properly.
what-
Have you started making words up?
Right.
Yeah, you Stanley Unwin.
Listen.
Reincarnated.
What-
Demicky?
Yeah.
There was a lot of albino elephants knocking about.
Where? Where is this?
Olden times.
Africa.
Yes! Should we say Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If an answer's got a question mark at the end, I'm not
Well,
sure
it's either Africa or India, but I'll give you a clue. Well, these elephants, do they have big ears or little ears?
I didn't sort of notice the size of the elephants. What I noticed is they were white because they were albino elephants.
Okay.
Right? So that's why they're heading, I'll be no buying one of them.
Okay.
So, what would happen is people who didn't know what they were doing, like, you know, you get people making a mistake buying cars that are full of problems and that. Back then when people were buying elephants, they'd go up to someone, say, I'm after an elephant, and the fellow would say, yeah, I've got one here for you, this is a nice one. And it was all white and stuff, and it had, like, blue eyes.
You should never trust a used elephant salesman.
It was just this elephant that's white with blue eyes.
Right, so,
this is great.
So a fellow who didn't know what he was doing would buy the elephant, and he'd get it back, and it'd be all sort of lazy and stuff, and what we're doing and stuff. And he'd say, what's up with this? And his mate, who's a bit of an expert with elephants, and go, oh, where have you bought that from? And he'd say, oh, I got it off that fella, and he goes, oh...
All this embellishing nonsense he does with the story.
You shouldn't have bought that. So he goes, why? And he says, it's only albino, innit? And he's like, what does that mean? And he said, oh, it gets tired. It's not that good at doing work and that, you shouldn't have bought it.
It steals from you.
But elephants back then were like a god. You know what I mean?
Right.
You couldn't say, oh, I'm sick of this, then I'm going to abandon it or anything, because elephants were seen as, like, pretty high up on the chain of things. So they'd end up being stuck with an elephant, that's an albino, couldn't do much, gets tired, basically gets in the way, so they said, that's where they're saying, like, you know, but a bit of a white elephant there.
What do you reckon, Rick?
I feel like I haven't been educated. I feel like I've lost something. So at that time in my life that I can never get back. I feel like I've sort of been soiled, and I don't know where to start. I'm angry. Do you know what I mean? I'm angry.
Sure, yeah, I can see that.
And all that rubbish around. Look at his little face.
Well,
what was that? All that shit about a second-hand elephant salesman and his mate knew about elephants. What is it? What are they had blue eyes. What are you?
Well,
albinos have red eyes for a start.
Oh, that's it. We've run out of time.
Oh, what? I mean, what are you going to do about this next week? Are you going to actually do some educating next week? And what about Rockbusters? Are you going to make the clues proper cryptic clues?
Well, that's the teaser, isn't it? That's what we'll leave them with.
Will it be any good next week?
Yeah.
Tune in and find out on XFM 104.9.
That's outrageous.
I'm loving it, and I was going, yeah, and I said, yeah, it's fine. I'll come down with him, and I was saying, what about this and that, and they were loving it. I called him up and went, oh no. I went, why not? He went, well, I'm looking at my reflection now in the mirror. He said, I shouldn't be on the telly.
What would you wear for your screen test, Karl? What kind of look would you try and cultivate? Because you've got to bear in mind that the audience out there, they don't know what you look like. So, would you be a snappy dresser like, say, Jonathan Ross, or would you go for your kind of street cash look?
Can't wear a suit.
You can't wear a suit?
Don't hold it well. So, I'm thinking, I don't know, I'll probably wear my woolly hat, because that takes some years off me.
It does, he looks about 10 with a woolly hat on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
is it quite a cool woolly hat, or has it got a bubble?
It's charcoal, I'd say it's the in colour.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll probably wear me anorak.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going for the. He's going for glam. He's going for quite a glam look.
Well, no one
dressed for a jumble sale. Wow. Yeah.
But I'm not that happy about it all, to be honest.
Are you going to do it? You're not going to do it?
Well, I'm sort of stuck in the middle, because throughout my life so far, I've never planned for anything, right? It's just always happened.
Yeah.
The time, you know what I mean, being in plays at school, never planned it, but when I did it, I went down a storm.
It was
that sort of thing.
Yeah, we all remember that.
So,
as I remember, you did Little Donkey.
Did Little Donkey, yeah.
And then later, someone was filming at the back. Was it your dad's mate?
My dad's mate. Well,
yeah, and on the camcorder, he listened to it back, watched him playing it. His dad says, just off camera, what does he say?
I don't want to say it, because I'm in charge of the show, and I'd be irresponsible.
He looks like a right twat.
So
he gets home, listening, watching that, and then here's his dad just off camera go, he looks like a right twat.
Yeah, alright, yeah.
What are you worried about? Your dad saying that on the
Can I just interject, because I'm really worried about this idea of Karl being on MTV, because the problem is that, you know, let's be honest, Rick, I mean, we're getting by the skin of our teeth, aren't we, really? It's only Karl that's keeping this afloat.
Yeah.
And if he gets on MTV and the world sort of gets a sense of him and they understand him, and he won't be ours anymore, we won't be able to control him, it'll be out there, it'll be in the public domain.
That's the thing, no, that's the thing, that's the terrible thing though, isn't it? It's like, Karl is my pet, but I realise I've got to release him into the wild, sort of, and, you know, because I love him, I know he's got to go free.
Sure.
But I wanna,
It's like Kez. Maybe someone will beat him to death and we won't have to worry.
I'll have you on, though. I'll have you on as a guest. Which gets me on to something we've got coming up today.
Oh, yeah, he's got a new idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know, like, I've talked about ghosts, and we had that good discussion the other week walking to Piccadilly Circus Station, and I was telling you about ghosts, and you were saying, Karl, don't be an idiot, and all that. Spoke to a woman in the week, done a little interview with her.
You've done a little interview?
Done a little interview, 2 minutes or so, with a woman who's got ghosts in her house. So,
I look forward to hearing that later. That sounds brilliant.
Coming up later.
Well, I'm gonna play a classic tune now. I've just gone straight for it. I've gone for the jugular. This is Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie. Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Karl was also nervous because you had a bit of shock last week, didn't you?
Just a little bit.
His dad tuned in.
To the show?
Yeah. And Karl's never told him that he actually speaks on the show. He just said, just press the buttons, right? He's kept him from it. You used to do radio before and you never told him, did you? It's because of the little donkey incident.
Yeah.
When he went along to it.
Was that the twat incident?
Yeah. And so he's never told him since, but they've promised not to listen, haven't they?
Well, my mum said to me, don't worry, don't be put off this week, because, you know, I've told him he can't listen, but I hear my dad in the background kinda going, bollocks. So, he might be listening. So that's extra pressure. Plus a camera crew in.
I know. You don't like it, do you?
This is good training for MTV, because then he can watch you on TV. I mean, what's he gonna make of that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he know you're bald?
Yeah.
You don't keep your hat on when you're with him and say, oh no, I'll just press the buttons.
No, it's just, you know, it's like when I was in any plays, I didn't tell him.
No.
Any sort of parents' evening, I never gave him the note.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did the teachers think? You were just an orphan?
No, just on an off chance. My mate's dad spoke to me dad once, I think, and sort of said, oh, you go to school to see how, you know, your kid's doing. Is that what you're talking about? He said, there's a parents' evening, so he went
said, what kid?
He went to one, and that's when Mrs. Matthews said I'd never be a high flyer.
How wrong was she? Yeah. Well, I think we should call Mrs. Matthews and make her eat her words.
Well.
She'd turn on to MTV when, I don't know, like their slamming session.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go, that's young Pilkington. He's bald, but it's definitely him.
I recognise that woolly hat.
Yeah. Did you see Celebrity Fit Club yesterday?
I missed it. I didn't watch any TV this week. The only TV I watched was, Are You Good in Bed? I already knew the answer.
Was it? You had to have tick points?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It was no! I was off the scale.
Well, talking off the scales, Rick Waller.
Really? Is he off?
Well, happened? What he did is he lost weight and they couldn't believe it, and he had a big argument with Harvey and they said go, never come back to it, right? And then he got to weigh and he'd lost sort of like 10 pounds or something. And, they were really, they said, you've been starving yourself, haven't you? And he admitted it. And,
I thought he just wasn't wearing his underpants.
yeah. But he was whinging all the time. He was watching it, he was doing a press that was going, I've hurt my arm. Then he was going, I feel sick. Then he was going, and he was just lying all the time about whether he was doing the routine and what he was eating and stuff. And I thought, that's me with this celebrity box. It is, because it's sort of like, and they go, how's it going? Do you have a drink this week? And I go, no. Haven't had a beer this week, no. Did you do the exercise today? And I go, yep. Yeah, I've done all that. Yeah. And I try and get out of the sparring because it hurts because there's a man hitting me in the face for fun.
Right. Because you know that's what boxing is.
So, yeah, that is being hit, yeah. I like all the bits, except the being hit. I don't even mind hitting someone.
Right,
I'd be willing to hit someone. It's the getting hit that I don't like.
Because I know you're a big fan of, like wearing the clothes, the sort of sporty gear.
I'm looking good, aren't I?
You look good, and you've obviously spent a bit of money.
They gave me this for training.
That's free of charge.
This was free for training.
That's a perk you love.
So,
and I know you like, kind of the sort of various sort of nutritional drinks you've got. I know you're a big fan of those.
I love the protein shake, because it tastes like chocolate. You know what? I've put on a couple of pounds since I've been doing this training. Nice. I think it is the extra meal, and,
so you're adding the protein, but not working out enough to take it off again.
Yeah, but I think I have actually changed a bit. I've got an inch on my chest, but an inch off my waist. So even though I've put on weight, there must be a little bit of muscle happening somewhere. So
just to recap there slightly, you're enjoying all the trappings of boxing.
Yeah.
But not the boxing.
Not the getting hit in the nose. Right. That's the one.
And you are aware that that's what will be happening during the actual fight?
No, because I've got a cunning plan.
Okay.
I'm gonna duck and dive. And bob and weave, dance. I'm gonna dance.
Well, I read in the paper yesterday, I don't know how much truth there is, that, Grant Bovee has recruited celebrity hypnotist Paul McKenna to help him win.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that's a because I know you've got, haven't you got, you've got Spit the Dog. You've got a couple of ventriloquists and an impressionist on your side.
I've got Pork Pie from Desmond.
Yeah, exactly.
Just getting me tuned
in your corner.
Mentally. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's all a bit of fun.
What do you reckon, Karl? Do you think he's,
what's McKenna gonna be doing? Is like Grant Bovee gonna be turned into a chicken and... You know what I mean?
He's gonna do an Elvis impression. And take
if I say the right words.
No, I think he's probably gonna just help him focus and...
I think there's lots of sports psychologists out there at the moment getting people, so I'm sure it's valid. If it's true, I'm sure it's, fine. But, I've been getting tuned mentally, learning how to hit.
Yeah.
That was my method. Eating and hitting, I think is...
And do you work out to any music? I mean, do you put on the Rocky soundtrack? Because I know you've got, a CD with music from all 5 films, haven't you?
No, we don't. I think they have the radio on down there, but you don't hear it. It's, all you hear is people shouting, saying things like, that's not like a fighter, and me going, I'm not a fighter, I'm a comedian.
And is it quite intimidating down there? I mean, do they, I mean, I'm sure they're nice people, but
I'm getting used to it now, but it is a different world, and I was quite scared, and I didn't
When you say I mean, is it like they're gangsters? I mean, is it kind of... I just mean, has it got that feel? You know, when you see it in films, they walk into those places, and, you know, they're hard nuts, and there's that feel like...
Well, they're all, you know, they're all ex-boxers and stuff, so yeah, but I mean, but no, they're not, no, that's not what I mean.
I suppose it's like they're real men.
Well, yeah, and, they don't understand, really, that I don't like getting hit on the nose. And they say, well, no one gets hit on the nose. And it took me a long time to get over that, just taking a couple of punches. I wanted to rule it out. And, but, you know, it's okay now. And of course I know they're mollycoddling me. They're using about 25% power, and I'm still...
And you wear the headgear, do you?
Oh, yeah, and the gum shield, I wanted to wear a crash helmet, but they said no, and carry a baseball bat, and they said that's technically illegal. But, I'm looking for, I'm a changed man, Karl. What we got coming up?
Got a bit of a, Death in Vegas with vocals from Liam Gallagher.
Final question for you, Rick. Do you think you'll carry on boxing after this is finished?
Competitively?
No, just the training and stuff.
Yeah, I do the training. Yeah, no, I love the training. I love learning the skills, and I do enjoy the training. I don't relish getting punched around. And I'm not worried about the fight at all. I'm really looking forward to the fight, because, Grant's a novice like me. It's just when you get in with an ex-pro who, you know, could destroy you so you're scared to hit him. And, you know, they never lose their rag, and they're really cool, and they're really nice, and they've never even hit me by mistake. But even just tapping you like that in the face hurts.
I was walking down Finchley Road and a couple of sixth formers said, "Oh, you lanky goggle-eyed freak," and I just wondered if maybe you could pop round and have a word with them.
I will. I will.
Some of your friends.
An enemy of yours is an enemy of mine.
Good.
Scorpio Rising, Death in Vegas on XFM 104.9, Steve. I'm Ricky Gervais. Carl's a little bit less stressed now. There's camera crew have gone, his dad's not listening, we think.
Well, yeah, who knows? Who knows?
But, you're chilled.
I tell you what though, my mum was loving it. Do you know Rockbusters?
Do I know Rockbusters? I love Rockbusters. I think I dream of it.
She was taking part. I mean, she doesn't know a lot of the new bands and that, but she made some up for some older bands and that.
Oh, she did some herself?
She made some herself, sent them in the post.
So are you going to use those today?
She's not quite got the hang of it.
So, unlike her genius son.
Have you got them there? Can we hear what they are?
You keep talking a second then.
I'm quite excited. I mean, if they're even approaching, say, the genius of Wet Knee Houston.
Yeah.
There was another one which was something to do with a trench, Karl. What was that?
That was Dandy Warhols. That was a good one.
Dandy Warhols.
I think that was his finest moment. Yeah.
Incidentally, I've had an email here from someone called Sauda, if that's a he or a she, but let's assume it's a she, just for glam's sake.
Yeah.
She says she saw an old man eating a Twix last week, Karl, so that blows your theory out the
I'm not having it.
Okay. So if you are a bloke, he's calling you a liar. So maybe you want a little rumble later?
In fact, if you are a bloke, he's calling you a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, then. These are ones that my mum's made up.
Brilliant.
Right, just in case you're a new listener, I'll give some initials out and a cryptic clue. And it makes up a band, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or a solo artist.
Not so much cryptic as what you're thinking.
Well,
go on.
My mum sent this one. This group would be good at doing your hair.
This group would be good at doing your hair.
TP.
Is there a group called the Hairdressers from the 60s?
This group would be good at doing your hair.
TP.
TP. Is it the something?
The Platters.
The Platters.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that's alright.
Nice.
Let's have a look. This group sound like dinosaurs.
Group sound like dinosaurs.
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yeah. I see what you mean. They're not so much cryptic, are they?
This group...
Leave her alone. They're good.
This group likes being by the sand and the sea.
This group likes being by the sand
and the Beach Boys,
Beach Boys.
This band are called the Beatles. The Beatles.
Hang on. We just have a...
What else you got?
It's funny because one of them that she's done, I'm actually doing today. I thought of in the week.
Right?
So,
is it the same clue?
It was, yeah.
Wow,
but
great minds think alike.
Here's
So
the
this
last
is obviously
one.
coincidence.
Here's the last one from her. This guy sounds superb.
This guy sounds superb.
The Bachelors.
Glenn Campbell.
Not bad,
That's good. I like that.
I'd tell you this, I think you should get onto one of the big game, organisations, Parker Brothers or whatever, because this has got to be, I mean, this could sweep the nation at Christmas. Don't you think this is the perfect Christmas game?
Yeah.
Well, I think this is what's going to make or break the MTV thing.
Right. Some kind of TV version.
Yeah. I'm just thinking into ad breaks, you know, coming up next is this band.
Be careful though, Karl, because, you know, make sure you retain the rights, because I can see this selling abroad. You know, you could
and I can
storm
see
America.
someone coming along and taking the sort of like the Rockbusters and changing one word and like another game out of it and just using the same format. I don't know. I can't think of them there, but they could change. So
sort of like
they change the word rock to something else and have it.
What could it be? Brick block.
Yeah, and so you have to, you know what I mean? So be careful.
Blockbusters will never work.
Look at his little face.
So we're doing that later. Got some good prizes.
Okay. We'll talk about the prizes
talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Educating Ricky.
Yeah, got that.
We've got the woman who's got a ghost in her house.
Yeah. It's a shame she's not here live, because I feel like I want to ask a few questions, Rick. I don't know about you.
Don't worry, I've covered it all.
You've covered it all, God.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, play a record.
Rick, I know probably you, like me, are just too busy really to keep abreast of new music, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, we're busy people, we've got, you know, important showbiz parties to go to and stuff. That's why I have friends of mine who send me compilations and stuff. That's one of my, quarterly compilations from my friend Harry, and that's All Downhill From Here by Jim O'Rourke.
I've got a new track coming up later, actually, that I think you might like. So, you know, we're inflaming each other's desire for new songs as well as going back to the back catalogue of some classics.
Sure.
Alright? I love adverts better though.
I do.
I love adverts.
It's weird.
Missy Elliott on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais with me, Steve, and Karl. Karl, why have you got a headache? You got a headache?
Just a bit stressful because the moves on this week.
Oh, you're moving house?
Oh, by the way, the XFM listeners came round to my house and bought the futon and table.
Did they?
Were they happy with it?
Quite normal. They were well happy.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe the luck with it.
What do you mean quite normal? What do you mean quite normal?
Well, I was a bit scared, innit, getting people round.
I imagine they were scared.
Well.
And were they excited to see you? Could they, I mean, they were, you know, could you tell that they were pretty pleased to see you?
No, I don't think so, I mean...
You're Karl Pilkington.
Yeah, but the fellas sort of, I mean, they brought the whole family round, which was a bit odd.
Well, it's not often they get the chance to visit a living freak.
Anyway, no, they were nice.
And you're moving now, yeah? He said he phoned me up today. You know, it was absolutely tipping it down. Right? He had to cycle in, right? Because he said, because of the move, he doesn't want to leave his bike round there. Right? And he said, and Suzanne, oh, I can't say this in case he's listening, can I?
He won't know.
He said Suzanne's hired the oldest removal man in London.
You should hear him. And the thing is, right, we booked him because everyone else happened to be booked out, but this fella's free, right? So he called up this morning, I've never spoke to him, but he was on the phone. He sounded about 90.
Yeah. Carl thinks that he's gonna have to do all the work.
And the thing is, right, it seems to be cheap.
All he wanted some Werther originals.
Yeah, right, listen, it seemed to be cheap because it's £50 an hour. But how long is it gonna take him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
When's the move on then? When's the
he's coming round. He came round today to bring some empty boxes, and he was struggling with them. So it actually happens on Wednesday.
Oh God.
Anyway, so
Rick, I noticed that you were laughing and almost had a heart attack. Doesn't bode well for the boxing match, does it?
Cough at the moment, haven't I? I've had my Lemsip.
Anyway, what we're doing now, Karl?
Well, I teased you with it before.
Are you gonna get it out again?
I'm always like trying to get you, know, thinking, opening your mind up a bit to ghosts and stuff.
Yes.
So, this woman who I know, she said she'd come in and I could interview her to try and sort of, you know, get the belief out there.
Okay.
So
yeah, because there's not enough belief in the occult and rubbish out there.
So does she think she has a ghost?
She has, yeah, she's had a few.
She has, no, it's fact.
Yeah, no,
yeah, she has.
So I thought maybe it's a new feature we could try for a couple of weeks, see how it goes down. You know Parkinson? What about Pilkington? Welcome to Pilkington.
Thank you.
My guest today is Taryn. She's a plugger. You're still a plugger, aren't you?
No, do co-management.
Right,
now.
she does co-management, but she was a plugger. She looked after Therapy, Raging Speed On, Slash, all the big names, yeah? But we're not here to talk about music today. We do a lot of that on XFM. Today we're talking ghosts. Now, Ricky and Steve, who I do the show with, they're not having any of it. So I said, well, I know someone who, you know, gets on with ghosts. There's a lot of them. So I thought I'd get you in today, have a little chat for a couple of minutes, just to sum up the story so they get an idea of what happened. You had a horse, yeah? You had it in some stables.
Yes.
He hasn't let her speak yet.
You went to, like, look after it and that, play around with it, take it for a ride and that.
Riding.
Yeah. Two of your mates were in the stable where your horse is.
Not my stable, in the opposite stable.
In the opposite stable.
And I heard them giggling and
they're messing about and that, yeah. You heard them having a laugh. So you thought, right, what are they up to? So you go in, and they're messing about with a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Right. So, this is where you come in. Did you get involved with the Ouija board?
Unfortunately, I did.
Right. And what happened then?
I was like, oh, you don't believe in this. Oh, let me have a go.
Right.
And ask a few questions, put our hands on, and it actually started moving.
So a lot of the stuff you asked it, did the things happen that you asked?
Yes, they did.
Right? So that's scary for a start, right? We haven't even got to the ghost bit yet. So you mess about with that.
Trap soul,
yeah?
I like to call
Right,
him.
trap soul. So you're messing about on the Ouija board, you say, right, I've had enough of this now.
Yeah.
I've got all the answers I need.
Yeah.
You go home.
I didn't like them.
You go in the house, and it's a bit nippy.
The flat is absolutely fine. It's when I went into the bedroom. You've got to remember, it's a very, very warm, hot evening.
Right.
And walk into the bedroom and note it is cold. Colder than usual. But I'm actually quite glad because it's so hot.
Right, okay.
Completely ignored the fact that the windows were all shut, but the curtains were blowing. Didn't sleep well at all.
Right.
Next evening, same again.
Freezing.
Yeah, very, very noticeably cold.
Curtains blowing.
Yeah, I'm fast asleep, get woken up, the wardrobe's opening.
So, at this point, this is where we clear up. You're not on crack, you're not...
Oh, never touched drugs in my entire life.
You're not a drinker.
No. I will have the odd glass of red wine.
Yeah, right, that's alright, they recommend that anyway. They say it's good for your heart.
What started happening was, as the week progressed, I also felt the bed covers at one point at night fold over, double bed, the bed covers fold over, and it was like someone was getting in the bed next to me. But you've got to remember, when you're in a deep sleep, you're not quite thinking, and you're thinking, I'm losing it. I was getting more and more tired, more and more a little stressed, and really thinking I was having a breakdown. The final straw was when the clothes on the end of my bed that I just throw hit me.
How come you were going back home at night?
Because I was sceptical. In fact, 6 months ago, I would have said, I don't want to go there. People will think I'm mad. But you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
I know there's more out there.
Well, brilliant. Well, cheers for that. And, thanks for being a guest on Pilkington.
Incisive investigative journalism there.
I like the fact that you've learned a lot from Parkinson, even stealing some of his questions, like, are you on crack? Which I know he always asks his guests.
Yeah. I like the fact that when she went, I don't know, I have the occasional red wine, he goes, well, that's alright for you. Good for your heart. That was great.
It was brilliant.
That is the best interview technique I've ever heard anywhere.
I feel like there's still some questions unanswered.
Yeah, it hasn't proved it to me, I'll be honest,
No,
Karl. It hasn't proved me the existence of ghosts
I have to
and
say, Rick, that
poltergeists.
I was worried as soon as she got involved with the Ouija board. I was thinking, please do not get involved with that Ouija board.
Yeah. I was worried when she said I heard some giggling coming from the other stable.
Yeah.
Don't go over there. Don't go over there.
It's, what questions did she ask the Ouija board? You didn't ask her that, I noticed.
She didn't want to...
She didn't want to say?
No.
Okay.
Do you think it was something like why that you did to try and confuse the computer? And the spirit world got really annoyed, and they got confused, and they came back and started messing up her clothes?
But what do you think then? There's
what do you mean? What do you mean, what do I think?
What do you think?
What about what? There's nothing I can answer there. There's nothing I can answer.
Alright, she said...
Well, I'll just keep saying I don't believe in the existence of ghosts. Because of the impossibility.
Right. Now, when she said... I mean, the interview I did for 50 minutes.
You did for how long?
50 minutes.
55 minutes?
Yeah, we might use that at Christmas or something, right? But the thing is...
Well, that's the best you got out of 50 minutes? They're the highlights.
No, I'll be honest.
MTV are not going to call again.
I'll tell you what, right? It did get a bit dark, and I didn't want that sort of stuff going out,
Saturday afternoon, yeah.
But, I can understand the heating thing. I said, well, you know, in the full interview I was saying, you know, that could be anything, couldn't it? Heating broke or something. Now, she said what else was she talking about?
Someone got into the bed next to her.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of said, well, you know, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And she couldn't explain it herself, but I said, but it did wake you up. Maybe you're a little bit sort of, still...
Although the only explanation I can think of, if she didn't actually see anyone, is, well, it was a ghost.
Yeah, well, that was
She's probably got a ghost getting in bed.
But what about cupboards opening and shutting?
See, again, the only explanation for that is a ghost.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't think of anything else.
Play a record. It's got to be a ghost.
It is ghost. I think you've proven it to us.
Yeah. A spirit.
Yeah. Street spirit?
Yeah.
Nice.
Street spirit. Radiohead. So, turns out ghosts do exist after all, Steve.
A woman what Karl knows proved it.
I've got egg on my face.
Yep.
On XFM 104.9.
Instantly, Rick, I should just encourage you and everyone else listening.
I really have got egg on my face, is that what you're going to say? Yeah, I've just been eating an omelette.
James Randi, a hero of yours and a hero of mine.
Yeah.
He's on TV this week on Horizon, I think it's maybe Thursday, check press for details, trying to expose the nonsense that is homeopathy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
So, look forward to that.
Do you know what that is, Karl?
Oh, go on.
they've got a theory that, if you, say you got something, an essential oil or something, or, in a solution, 1 in 10 solution, and it does something to you, actually does something to you, they've got this thing where they dilute it to there's nothing in it, but because they're using the same water, and the water still has the same effect. It's sort of like a placebo that works. That's the sort of theory of it.
What time's that on?
Check the papers, but I think it's sort of 9 o'clock Thursday, something like that. It'll be interesting though, Karl. It will be interesting, mate. Trust me. I'll tell you what's also interesting, Rick. The prizes we're giving away this week on Rockbusters. We got for you David Attenborough's The Life of Mammals. I don't know, is this a new show? Is this on TV at the moment? Is this like a new thing? So that looks good, like a double VHS thing there. We've also got a U2, the best of their 90s videos, even better than the real things on there. Mysterious Ways, Beautiful Day, Electrical Storm, the new one. Stuff on there, that's on the video. We've also got a couple of CDs, The Smashing Pumpkins. I think this is sort of alternative versions of a lot of their hits and stuff, live versions and stuff like this. Johnny Cash's current album, possibly his last. We don't know, because apparently he's not very well at the moment.
So, an album of covers.
Yeah, well, not all covers, some of his new stuff as well, but he's done covers of things like Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode, and Desperado, and Bridge Over Troubled Water. And the great thing about Cash is I read an amazing review where it says it's like he always makes them his own, do you know what I mean? It's like you can't even remember the old version.
Desperado by the Eagles?
By the Eagles, yeah.
I'd like to play that, just to hear that, because I haven't heard that. We'll play that and then give it away. These are actually good prizes, Karl.
Good prizes. We've also got, including a small, miniature 3-wheel car, an Only Fools and Horses video. I think this is the, special that was on Christmas TV last year. So if you're one of the people who didn't see it, I mean, wasn't there like 22 million people watching?
Ridiculous, yeah.
If you're one of the people who, desperately wants to see it again, I know I do.
And wants a small yellow car
also wants a small yellow car. Then there it is. And, also, another of these, compilations, arbitrary compilation albums, the best chill-out album ever, Rick.
Sure.
If you're a fan of the Levi's Freedom ad,
I love the Levi's Freedom ad.
Then, the track that...
I hate the music to it, though.
No, well, that's a shame, because it's included on here. Rick, how much do you love the Volvo TV advert?
Love it.
Because that's...
Hate the music again, though, why?
That's a shame, because that track is
the
also
music.
on
Okay. Sure.
But there's also stuff on here, there's some interesting stuff, there's Pink Floyd, there's Coldplay, there's Roy Scott, so, it's probably worth it.
I love Pink Floyd. Except the music again. So it's a bit of a bind for me.
That's a whole heap of treats.
And that's the winner of Rockbusters.
That's the winner of Rockbusters.
Coming up after the adverts.
Okay.
Doves, Caught by the River on XFM 104.9. We're into the second hour now. This is when this award-winning show really kicks into gear.
When you say award-winning?
We haven't won them yet. I mean, we will win some.
Hang on, let me remind you. Wasn't there a bronze in the Sony Awards?
Oh yeah, we got a bronze. I don't go for bronze. It doesn't count. No, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. I'm Ricky Gervais, obviously, with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington, which is, what Heat write about, really. Karl's the main man. Think of Karl a year ago, he was just sitting in that room going, alright, I've done this. XFM. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a music bed. Brilliant. Comes on the show, we start taking the piss out of him. People start going, oh, who's the idiot you've got in? And we go, it's Karl. And they go, we like him, he's a fool. I go, yes, he's a fool, he's a pet buffoon. And they go, well, let him speak more. Right? And they're going, don't let him talk, XFM, the fat cats. Oh. And I said, I'm a rebel and I do it my way.
Rick, can I ask, did you stick it to the man?
Yeah. And then MTV call up. Heat are writing about him every week.
Yeah.
He's just been filmed for the BBC.
There's some rumours he might be the new James Bond.
Yeah. He's eating lovely McVitie's original digestives. Are we allowed to, if McVitie's are listening, I love these biscuits.
Yeah.
And he's got the best...
If the Spearmint Rhino strip clubs are listening, I'm a huge fan.
Right? And he's got Rockbusters to come.
Yes,
let's do it.
I should just ask, the few people have asked me this, and there's also an email here from Rich. People are saying they've seen some of the posters and the adverts of, advertising the show, plugging the show. Why aren't you on the posters, Karl? And it is your choice, isn't it? We did ask, Karl to be involved, but
he is actually. It's like, where's Waldo? He's actually, he's in my trousers.
Look, you don't like having your photo taken, no? You're not seeking the publicity. No. I reckon you are secretly. I don't believe you.
No, he's right. He's totally right. He's doing it just right. But I think there's a fine line to be drawn that, if you like being in, around radio, you've got and you want your own show, or you enjoy talking and they just happen to be filming you for MTV, that's different. I think what you just avoid is going to silly celebrity bashes, having your picture taken for the sake of it. I mean, I think you're right, but I think you should do the screen test. On a serious note, I think you should do the screen test. Just because it might be fun, and if it's no good, they won't do it. And you can stop any time you want. No one has to keep going on telly.
I just think we're going to lose him.
No,
we won't lose him.
Listen, right? I'll always be part of this.
I'm just worried that you're going to exhaust yourself. You're going to be drained. You're going to have told all your anecdotes on MTV.
He certainly would have, if you have to help the old fella upstairs with the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, £50 an hour. Oh. That's terrible. Go on.
But I'm what I wanted to do, right, because I don't want to embarrass myself, right? I don't want to embarrass the woman at MTV when I turn up and she thinks, oh, look at him.
Yeah.
What a waste of film this is going to be, because it's not cheap. I know that.
It's not film either, but go on.
Well...
It won't be. It is cheap. It is cheap. They're filming on a DV camera that they can go over. If it's no good, they won't show it to anyone. It'll be great. It's just what they want you. Honestly, I can just see you doing little things, just like popping up, you know, between the records and going, alright, MTV, music, television, hear about the airy Chinese kid born, which is weird, isn't it? Because they're not usually airy. And it just goes, MTV. It'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant, Karl. If I'll come down with you, I'll come down with you.
Well, we'll see.
Go on.
We'll think about it, right?
Go on. Right, Rockbusters.
So, Rockbusters, you know, it's a little clue, some initials, 3 different clues. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. You can win the load of stuff that we've got. So, first one, here's the clue. Stop throwing that fruit about.
Oh. And what's the initial?
That's CB. CB. Stop throwing that fruit about.
Yeah. Alright. Is Anders listening? Has he emailed us in yet?
Anders, not had any response from Anders. I'll keep
I hope he hasn't stopped listening. Because he doesn't like the show. He's gone off. I hope he hasn't gone off the show.
So, the second one, that Scottish fella has made an error.
That Scottish fella has made an error.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That's M. Right, that Scottish fella has made an error. Right? Okay. And, the last one, God, you can make a right load of toast with them.
You can make a right load of toast with them?
Yeah.
Alright, what's the initial there?
That's G.
G, I was thinking it might be bread for a minute, but no. G.
So just very quickly, stop throwing that fruit about, CB.
I've got the last one.
Right. Scottish fella...
It doesn't work, it doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Well, that Scottish fella's made an error, that's M. And, God, you can make a right load of toast with them, that's G. Email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk and you can...
We got the CDs, we got horses, we got mammals on VHS, we got U2, we got a couple of CDs, including Johnny Cash.
Here's a new tune from a new fella called Papa Garcia. See what you think of this.
You see, if he was on MTV, I couldn't say his name.
Why?
What is it again?
Papa Garcia.
Right, here's a new one from Papa Garcia.
Brilliant. Papa Garcia, Natalie and Nusi from the forthcoming album Bring Me the Head of Papa Garcia. Catchy that. Quite retro. It's a bit of Elton John and
all sorts of
yeah, lovely. Right, here we go. Quick clues again. And then we better do Educating Ricky.
This is the favourite bit of the show for me now, Educating Ricky.
I love it.
I can't, I'm anxious all week.
Well, just quickly on those clues, just in case people need to know again. Stop throwing that fruit about, CB. That Scottish fella's made a bit of an error, M. And, God, you can make loads of toast with them. That's, G.
Alright, brilliant. ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. It's email only.
Oh, yeah. I need some learning. I need some knowledge, Karl. Educate me.
I might be able to help you.
Go on.
We've got 3 things, as always. I'll give them a little, heading to tease you, as to which one you want to learn first.
Yeah.
First one is the tip included?
Is the tip included?
Like it.
Second one, I want to come here in hindsight. Right.
I wouldn't have come here in hindsight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the third one, am I gonna have to thump you?
Am I gonna have to thump you? Okay, and you've trawled, the internet?
So if I can get into the mindset of this plan, is the tip included? Well, obviously, that's probably not gonna be about a weight. It's gonna be, if that's someone losing the end of his knob, I assume. Am I gonna have to thump you? That's a man who lost his arm in a fight, but then picked it up with the other arm and smacked him with it. What was the middle one?
I want to come here in hindsight.
Hindsight.
Hindsight?
It's someone was blinded by baked beans.
Sure.
So what are you going for then?
I think I'd better go for, am I gonna have to thump you?
Right, well this isn't... I've been struggling again, to be honest with you. Searching high and low for stuff, and some of these I had to leave till this morning.
Right, because there's just not enough knowledge out in the world, is there, that you don't know about?
I found out about something in the week about a guy who, was playing tug-of-war.
This is bonus material, isn't it?
He was playing tug-of-war.
Oh, his arm came off.
Only his arm come off.
Yeah, he got caught up in the rope, yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't get caught up in the rope, he just was trying that hard and didn't want to lose. He kept holding it.
But he allowed his arm to be pulled off?
He really wanted to win. And the other team pulled it and his arm come off.
No.
Well,
I don't know who to believe.
Well, think about it. If he's gripping,
yeah.
As soon as there's tension, like the arm coming out of the socket, the hand might release. I think his arm got caught up in the rope, and so it was involuntary, as opposed to him going, "Well, my arm's coming off, but I'm not going to lose this." You might be right.
That's the fact.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus fact.
Yeah, well,
that's educated me.
Well,
a man lost his arm. Oh, interesting. Go on.
Am I gonna have to thump you?
Yeah.
Do you know the saying, shut your face?
Yeah, I've heard the well-known Shakespeare, innit?
Yeah. Do you know how it came about?
No, Joe Dolce.
No,
go on.
It's, ages ago.
Oh, yeah, literally, literally.
Like, knights who wore armour.
Okay.
That's, armour gonna have to thump you, that's how it came about.
Okay, armour.
They wore all the stuff, and they had the helmet, and say if they're guarding something at night, stood outside a castle or something,
yeah.
And there's probably gonna be two of them, right? So they stood there talking and that, and, talking about stuff. And
the future,
sort of, yeah, medieval stuff.
One of them's like, "Oh, I wish you'd shut up. You know, I've been stood here for hours," and he's going on and on.
Yeah, sure.
So he'd say, "Shut your face," meaning, shut the guard down on your helmet,
the visor,
and I can't hear you then. So shut your face.
Shut your face.
And that's how it came about.
Well, I suppose
it would be interesting if I could just rely on it. As
I'm not sure it's true. Yeah.
I know. I just never know.
It needs to be corroborated.
It's like, I don't know where he got it from, but anything via Karl is precarious.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe you should give us your sources next time. You know, tell us where you got this information from.
Got it off the internet.
Yeah, but where on the internet?
I can't remember where that one was. I mean, I always go through, like, the news pages and stuff, and
this news should be updated, because they've only reached the 17th century, which was last week with people eating, tomatoes off lead plates.
Then I look at news, and there was stuff about a woman who was in a shop, and she, I don't know, they had some workmen in doing the shop up, and they had some wood glue left out, and she asked for some pear juice, and then the guy went and thought the glue in the thing was the pear juice, and she went and drank that. But that's not really news.
No.
So I thought, well, we're not having that.
I wish you hadn't told us.
There was one about...
So there's some poor woman now whose tiles have fallen off because she tried to put them up with pear juice.
Yeah.
See, that's the danger of mixing up pear juice with toxic glue.
Yeah.
Your wallpaper and your tiles and everything just fall down.
There was also...
Be careful, everyone.
Be careful.
There was something about, kids having hamburgers, it makes them fat.
Hamburgers?
Hold on. What? Having food with high fat content can make you put on weight?
Yeah.
Don't believe it. You're an idiot. What's the next one?
No, let's play tune. Let's play tune.
You've still got to come, you've still got I Want to Come Here in Hindsight, and you've still got Is a Tip Included, but we've got a bit of,
Well, I think we haven't played anything for a while, have we, in terms of the hip-hop hooray feature that I used to, be so popular for. So I thought we'd just resurrect that for 1 week only.
Heat didn't pick up on that one, did they?
They didn't, did they? Let me just remind you, hip-hop hooray was where I played a hip-hop track.
And then I said hooray, or?
Yeah, no, I think didn't even have that.
Brilliant.
That's a great thing, though. We could add that in, we could phase that in. Maybe at the end of the, song you could...
Hooray.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Featuring Puff Daddy and Little Kim, that's Notorious B.I.G.
Brilliant.
And, Notorious.
Great, lovely. Karl just, said to me, here's something. You can't hold your breath to death.
Have you tried it, Karl?
It's just another little lesson.
There's someone here who's in a really low ebb. They've been listening to a show, they were going to commit suicide. They just start holding their breath and thinking, oh, screw it.
Well, what did you learn in the week, right? I'm always doing all the educating. I asked you were talking about watching a programme about jellyfish.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that'll be interesting, I'll try and find some stuff out, but I couldn't find anything that I didn't already know about them.
It must be difficult for you to find anything you don't already know.
So what did you learn about jellyfish?
I agreed with you by the end of it, that they should be wiped off the face of the earth, because they're balls of water in membrane, right, that go around stinging people to death. Let's lose them, Karl. Let's lose the jellyfish. Yeah?
That's what I think. Because I was stung by one. You know?
Oh, you got stung by one? Yeah,
I was on holiday and got stung by one.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
No,
don't understand them.
Not a fan of them.
So that's that.
Good. So that's sorted out the jellyfish conundrum. We've solved that particular worry.
Right then. So take your pick then.
I asked him if he could have any animal the other day. Did I ask him on air as well?
Don't know.
Off air, he said, I've got it down to 2. Right, and this was, he said, what favourite animal looking at, or could I own one? And I went, you could own one. And he went, right, but could I own one, or would I have trouble? I went, Karl, you've got all the expertise, you can just have it in whatever it needs, and you go down there. He went, right, and I won't regret it and get fed up. I said, no, Karl, just what animal, if you could have any animal, what animal would you love? He went, I've got it down to 2. I went, what is it? He said, either the rhino or the hippo.
What's your logic?
Well, I don't know. That was then. I mean, ask me tomorrow, and I might have 2 other favourites. Do you know what I mean? When was that?
A couple of weeks ago. When was that? Well, you were there.
Yeah, but you know.
What are they today? Quickly now. First animal that comes into your head.
Now. Any animal I want.
You could have any animal in the world.
Right.
From one that's maybe extinct. Anything you want.
Right. I might have. Just for today.
Just for today.
I might have a scorpion in a little box.
A little scorpion in a box.
No.
What's your thinking?
It's the chimp every time. It's the chimpanzee or the gorilla.
No. But, have I told you that programme about the scorpion? How they all help each other out?
Right. Scorpions all help each other out?
No, this is brilliant, right? Somewhere in the desert.
Okay.
There's these little...
the desert.
It's like these little monkeys that are underground or something. And there's holes.
Is this Beneath the Planet of the Apes? The 4th in the series.
Are they talking apes?
Oh, forget it, actually.
No, and you've got it wrong anyway. They're not monkeys.
There's little monkeys under the goose. What are they doing down there? Toiling in some underground mines?
They're lizards, if you remember. And the lizard goes to sleep, and the bloke comes along. You've told this, and
we've done it. All right.
Monkey from monkey. That's what happens in his mind. From lizard to monkey. Oh, evolution would have been so much easier if Karl was around. Turn it into a monkey. I'm fed up with the lizard.
Just promise me once again, Karl. I've asked you before. Promise me you'll never have children.
Go on, right, okay.
Right, what are you having?
What are they again?
Is the tip included?
Yeah, go on, that one.
Right, in Turkey...
Nice.
It's not, actually. That's where I went, and there was them little fellas after Suzanne in the kitchen.
What? What do you mean?
We went to Turkey.
You went to Turkey and there were some little fellas?
Well, they had quite a few sort of midgets working in the kitchen.
Why? Is it a theme?
No,
was it a theme holiday?
I don't know. Might get them cheaper or something.
Was it?
So they were working.
Cheaper.
They were working in the kitchen, and one of them fancied Suzanne and kept sort of eyeing her up, and she was winding me up, saying, "Oh,
not eyeing up and down, just eyeing her up."
Yeah.
Fancy. Anyway, no. So
what was she doing in the kitchen?
No, it's like a pick what you want to eat type buffet, but you have people clearing the tables and that ready for you to come along.
Are they low tables?
And you know, he was just keeping an eye on her.
What did he say though? Was he?
It was Turkish, so I don't know what he was saying.
But he was a
little fella, yeah.
Did he?
What do you mean a little fella? What do you mean little fella?
Sort of dwarf-like.
What do you mean dwarf-like? He had magic powers, or he was 4 foot?
No,
what do you mean, Karl?
A little bloke, just like a normal bloke, but small. If you stood him in the desert, you wouldn't know.
But he'd be hot and thirsty. Right, Karl.
You should watch out for the monkeys.
Yeah, underground.
There's underground monkeys.
Look, you can't just say there was a little midget fella who was eyeing up my girlfriend and then leave it. What do you mean? What was happening? This is a story to us. This is much more interesting to us than, and she was deaf, right, and she hit her head. That's much more interesting.
I don't understand how how it manifested itself. Did he come over and say something? No,
do you know when, it's like girls know, don't they, when someone fancies them.
What do you mean there was lots of them as well?
Do they? That's worth knowing.
Listen, right, come on, right, so you went into this holiday, yeah?
Yeah.
And you went into the dining room or something?
Yeah, downstairs.
And you looked over.
You thought, this is odd, there's no one serving.
Yeah, and they go,
wait a minute.
Hold on, you looked down, and there was a little waiter.
There was loads of them running around busy.
Why, though? Why did they get
summer?
What do you mean?
Because it was in summer.
They had more of them
They come out in summer. They come out in summer.
What do you mean they had more? What do you mean?
Because it's busy, isn't it?
No, but they hibernate in the
winter.
winter.
Why were they all midgets?
I don't know, maybe it doesn't heat stunt your growth or something?
No!
Well, they just happened to, maybe it was a thing that they did for tourists or something, I don't know. I just got on with my meal, it was a holiday, do you know what I mean?
Go on.
Right,
So it's a midget surfing. I'm not going to ask any questions.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they're all little fellas running around, and this one always was like, you know, oh, do you want a new serviette? You know what I mean? Going out of his way to sort of...
for turning on the charm.
Yeah, he was going out of his way. The others weren't.
Right. I think what was happening is he'd been working with Santa all till winter.
Yeah.
It's just a little summer break.
This one was your waiter, and so he was being polite to you.
Maybe.
But what did Suzanne say then?
Well, she was using it to wind me up.
What was she saying?
Just like, you know, look
he may be small, but he's built like a...
Yeah, he's all man.
So...
Were you jealous of a midget then? You were jealous of him?
It is a bit annoying, isn't it?
Why?
It wouldn't bother me as much now, because I've been with her for ages.
Right.
But at the time, that might have been one of our first holidays, and it's like...
You don't want
what's going on? I paid for this holiday.
Yeah.
And then you get off with a midget?
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway...
But it doesn't matter, because you got chatted up by a bearded lady, so...
yeah.
Tell you what, no, that's got nothing to do with that.
What were you going to say? What were you going to say?
I was going to say the hotel was half board, and maybe...
Oh, right. I thought you were going to say it's just one of her shortcomings.
So listen, right?
Play a record, Karl.
Right. Badly drawn boy, born again. Right, just get this educating Ricky out of the way. So, Turkey, yeah. So what is this again?
This is educating Ricky, is a tip included.
Right.
Apparently a fellow was on holiday in Turkey. He's just having a normal holiday, weather's good, you know, he's having a good time. And
waiters are all normal height.
Yeah. He's having his meal. He hears a load of screaming going on in the kitchen.
Hold on.
Has his girlfriend wandered in there?
And they do,
with a stepladder.
Yeah.
the circumcised people in the kitchen, and apparently...
What are you talking about?
Whoa, slow down. We were sidetracked there for a minute.
What are you talking about? Well, I'm excited about two things at once here. One, they circumcised people in the kitchen. Two, I guessed it was someone losing the end of their knob.
He did, yeah.
I started thinking like Karl Pilkington.
Extraordinary.
That is amazing.
Apparently it was going on. It wasn't just a one-off either. Well, when I say a one-off, I mean they did it more than once.
Yeah.
Right? And there was... he was there for a week, and apparently the first night it was quiet, and then the rest of the week, every day, he'd be like having his breakfast, or even his lunch, or even his tea.
Yeah.
He'd be doing it all day.
Oh.
You'd be hearing
lunch
screams.
and breakfast, fair enough, really.
Yeah,
circumcision at tea time.
Don't do that.
And apparently it's a tradition over there. You can't even make a complaint about it. It's like, well, you should have found out before you come over
See,
here.
I can't believe this is true.
I'm a little
I
bit
can't
lost.
believe this is
He was
true.
in a restaurant, in a hotel, and there were people having circumcisions in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm even worried that we're bordering on the racist here, suggesting that is tradition, that Turkish people cut the end of their cocks off in the kitchen.
Yeah.
At meal times. I think you're wrong, Karl.
This just sounds ludicrous, Karl.
No, I don't think it happens everywhere.
Right.
I think this
Just in
this hotel.
certain places.
Certain hotels.
Certain hotels.
What, is it like 2-star?
Yeah.
No, I don't...
Why did he go to the Foreskin Inn? It was his own fault, wasn't it?
So, that's...
Sorry, that's it, is it?
Have they closed?
Wait. That's the story. You educated me, right? Once a fella saw some Turkish people cutting the tip of their knob off in the kitchen. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Karl. Got any more?
Well, there's things you can learn from it. Either don't go to Turkey.
No!
Don't have calamari when you're over there.
Karl, you've done it again.
Well.
You too. I love that one. On XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl. Okay, Karl, one more.
Can't we just...
Don't get the ump, just because so far you've come up with nothing. What's the last one?
Give us the teaser clue again.
It was, I want to come here in hindsight.
I wouldn't have come here in hindsight.
Yeah.
Right, give me some education. This will be the thing that teaches me something. I can feel it in my bones. Come on.
There's a kid in Kenya. He was messing about with some beans.
Magic.
We guessed that as well.
You did, yeah.
He's fed up because we've guessed his puns, I think.
He put one of them in his ear.
Yeah.
The mum or the dad said, oh, what have you done that for, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll have to take you to the doctors now. So they took the kid to the doctors, and the doctor said, oh, he said, I can get that out, I can sort that out for you. So, he took it out, and the doctor said, right, that's £3.50. and the dad said, I've only got 270 on me. And the doctor said, right, well, and he put the beam back in his kid's ear.
I don't know what to say. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
a couple of questions from me, very quickly. Are you sure that those were definitely the sums involved, were they?
Well, the equivalent of whatever the deal with in Kenya.
Yeah.
It was the equivalent of, you know.
Oh, so what currency was it, Karl, that you translated into sterling?
I don't know. No, it was saying in the thing. It said the equivalent of
£3.15, £2.70.
Did it say that?
Yeah. So
did it say that?
Yeah.
Karl, look at me. Look at me. Did it say that?
Yeah, it said that was the.
Did it say that?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It definitely said that. Definitely.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I suppose, I don't know. I mean, all these things. The idea is, it's not like a lesson. It's like, I'll tell you this, see what you can get from it.
Sure.
So you look at what I've told you already. The knights who said shut your face. That's like
that's amazing.
That explains itself.
Yeah.
Turkey with the circumcisions in a restaurant.
Yeah. That'll hold me in good stead. Yeah.
Don't go there. Whatever. Yeah. This one, if you're in Kenya, don't put beans in your ears or something. Doctors
or carry £3.50 or the equivalent of.
It's just the idea that the doctor put it back in his ear. He forced it back in his ear. So is it still there to this day? I mean, is there any update on that story?
Or did he go back with the £3.50?
I presume he either went and got like a second opinion, see if he could get it cheaper.
Right.
From another doctor.
Yeah.
Or he said, right, I'll come back next week.
Yeah.
After I've been paid. Or he saw how the doctor did it and thought, well, I'll have a go at that. Sure. I'll get home.
Yeah, for free.
But he never said how it ended.
No.
But, I mean, I apologise for this week. I mean, I haven't got that much out of it.
You've not been enriched.
Oh.
It was very, very light. Like I said, there was the tug-of-war. There was a fella in Scotland who had a load of tattoos.
Okay.
Is that it?
Is that the end of the story?
98% covered.
Right.
Just between his toes, he didn't have done.
Why not?
Because it looks stupid. I don't know. It just said 98% done. What else?
Are you gonna drop the feature? Are you worried?
I'm thinking about it.
Don't drop the feature.
To be honest with you.
Heat have probably written about this already. This has been a classic.
I'm concerned because it's my favourite part of the show. I'm wondering, is there something else we could? What could we do to help you out? Because I hate to see it go.
Well, we can't really, and he's moving this week with the old fella, so that'll take him about 4 days. I'm worried that you're not looking in the right. Why don't you go to a library?
Quick question for you, Karl. Who is a possible guest on next week's Pilkington?
What are you going to investigate?
I mean, what about your removals man?
Right, listen, if you've had a experience, it can be anything, right? It doesn't have to be you've seen a ghost. It can be that you think you're going to live forever, or you can, do any mentalist out there. If you're slightly, wrong, if there's something wrong with you, just, email Karl. Is it karl.pilkington@xfm.co.uk? Yeah. karl.pilkington@xfm.co.uk.
Would you like to be interviewed on next week's edition of Pilkington?
If you are a mental of any description, just lonely, bewildered, stupid, just something wrong with you, right, and you've seen something that's, interesting to you but absolute bollocks, then please call Karl.
Yeah. Karl.pilkington.
Don't let that put you off, by the way. Don't think, oh, they're going to take the piss out of me. Just if, in any way, if it's, fodder for us, then call up, because Karl will like you. You'll be friends with Karl, won't you? Quick, the clues. What's the answers? We always do this. We're running out of time.
Don't worry, we've got a tune, and then we'll come back with the answers for Rockbusters. A lot of great prizes.
Alright, then. We'll have a bit of, cash.
Johnny Cash, one of the prizes we're giving away.
Johnny Cash and Desperado.
That's from his new album, which is a collection of new songs and covers, which is one of the prizes given away on this week's Rockbusters.
And, can we have the clues and the answers and the winners?
Yeah. First one was stop throwing that fruit about.
Stop throwing that fruit about. The answer is
C.B. That was Chuck Berry.
Oh, of course it was.
Okay. I'll give you that.
The one that you've worked out, I'll do next. The, God, you make a load of toast with them. That was G. Gorillas.
Gorillas, though, isn't it?
Gorillas. And the middle one was that Scottish fella's made an error. That was Mystique.
Mystique.
So,
did anyone get that?
Extraordinarily, almost all the people who emailed in, and
I'm beginning to think it's us then, because I was thinking mistake, I was thinking muck error, and muck mistake, but mistake.
Yeah.
So, do you want to pick a winner?
Yeah, I was going to give the prizes to Amy Massey, who's from Wiltshire, the West Country. Losers down there, probably as weird as you.
Yeah.
So she's won, and congratulations to her. I'm assuming she's listening online, or maybe via some kind of.
I think we must have a lot of listeners outside London, because all these are from Norwich and. Have we got any listeners in London?
Places, you know, it's where there's a lot of inbreeding.
Yeah, there's nothing else to do.
Exactly.
Norwich and Wiltshire.
Well, you know, cheers for that, Amy. Well done.
He waved then when he said that.
He did, yeah.
He waved.
He's working.
No, he's working, getting ready for TV.
Of course he is, yeah.
Oh, I think
so is that this week? Can it be arranged for this week?
Yeah, I'll sort it out.
Well, I'm busy this week. I'm moving.
Of course.
So let's talk about that.
And you can do an edition of Cribs. Where they get rock stars to show them around their home.
We're done now. It's finished.
Sorry, was I boring you?
What day are you
it's
moving?
been pretty bad today. It's been pretty bad.
What are you talking about? Hold on, I was talking and you just went anyway. Well, we're still on air. You know we're still on air.
We've run out of time now.
We haven't run out of time. It's 6 minutes to.
I know, but we've got to finish now.
Why?
Because we always do this.
What? Why are you getting stressed, Karl? You do not cut me off when I'm talking. Whatever you do.
Can I just remind you, Karl, it is Ricky's show.
Yeah.
I know, but as the producer...
Ooh, you've changed, Karl.
Go on.
As the producer, I've got to press this button.
Why, though? At 6 minutes to? Tell me why.
Because that's when it finishes.
What, we finished?
We've got a clear net for the next...
On the poster it says 1 to 3. It doesn't say 1 till 2:55.
Right.
You, Karl, you press that button on. Hey!